All right, welcome to the Mandurah Bowling Club for the conclusion of the 2025 Everest Bowls. Our umpire is Sue Hogg and our marker is Steve Beckwith. Congratulations to Aaron Teys and Mathew Pietersen for getting to this stage for the big $50,000 prize. So thank you all the people who have come along and attended. So have a great game, guys, and good luck. Cheers.
And welcome back, everybody. My first go at the YouTube. I'm sitting here with Paddy Keefe from the Vic Park Reds, responsible for bringing over a team of players, one of which has made the playoff.
Yes, Ronnie, thank you. Mathew Pietersen, yes, he's had quite a good tournament so far, but obviously there's the big one to go.
The big one to go. This is the pinnacle. It's 31 up.
31 up, yes, you do have to literally climb the Everest if you want to take that $50,000 check.
So here we go. We're nearly a full length end. Matt back on the tee, and we're only about a metre or so just up from the other end. Teys' first has just snuck past. He's probably 3 or 4 feet past.
Not a bad reply from Perm. They both seem to have found the line reasonably enough.
Realistically, I don't care how many times you've done this. These first few bowls that you put down, there's going to be a little bit of nervous energy in amongst it.
Yes, exactly.
Teys looks like he's going to settle into it pretty quickly, though.
Yes, I noticed they both decided to play that backhand, coming back towards the club. Looks to be on a fair line here, Matty.
Just sneaking, probably shot bowl. Righto, one of the interesting things that Turtle and I have struggled with over the course of the broadcast is working out which paddle belongs to whom. I'm hopeful. Okay, so Aaron Teys will be the white paddle. The red paddle will be Mathew Pietersen. Because once again, we're off to the side and they're playing down the rink in the middle of the green. So,
what a nice track again here. Perm, as he's affectionately known, Mathew Pietersen. Just got to hurry to the jack now. I think he's done enough.
Shout out to Tommy Mitchell, our, what are we going to call you? Producer extraordinaire? Yeah, camera operator.
Camera operator, tech wizard.
I was going to give him a bit more credit than that, but we'll go with camera operator as Teys just walks up and says, anything you can do, Matty?
I could do better.
Tech Guru's Blake, sorry. Yeah, righto.
Be interesting to see Mathew Pietersen. He's having a good look at this head at the moment. Teys does have the catcher just in behind. He's probably got to be pretty careful what he does play here.
And the back bowl as well.
Yeah.
So, yep. Matty was heading back to the jack end, but then decided to have another look.
Wouldn't surprise me if we see a bit of weight here. It's early. Might just try to get up through them, clear them out. Kill's good. I think both these players throughout the event, they're not afraid to fire when they have to.
No, exactly right.
So I think with their talent levels, they are, if they get the chance, they'll have a crack.
I'm not entirely sure if he's firing here. I don't think so. I'm going to continue down that backhand side.
Looks a tad higher than his last.
Oh, I was about to say, Matty actually has brought a wider set of turning bowls to the event, and that climbed all the way back.
Yes.
Got down to Teys' bowl, but was unable to turn the tables on him. So it'll be 1 to Aaron Teys to kick this final off.
Obviously, you're a local down here, Ronnie. This is your local club.
It is indeed, mate. Yep.
Yes.
No, we play here, and we spend a bit of time on this indoor.
Yes, it's been glorious. We've been down for a few days now, and weather's been turned on. The hospitality's been great.
We've been very, very fortunate with the weather. Easter can traditionally be the first lot of rains. We had a bit of a cloudy day and a bit of a rough start on the Thursday. Particularly the guys that were playing out there on D green, with it running about 16, 17 seconds, and a bit of a howling sou'wester for them to contend with. But outside of that, glorious.
Yep, no, it's been beautiful. I think a few of these eastern staters that I've had a chat to, they don't have a lot of sandfills over there, so it was a bit of a rude awakening to them when they got over here, especially the ones that did play on the Thursday.
Yeah, mostly a lot of tiff grass on the east coast. They'd be very accustomed to this type of surface on the indoor, though.
Interesting that Matty's had a hand change. He's sticking with his backhand. Not far away here.
That's interesting. That looks like it held off a little bit more than the backhand he played going back towards the club, though.
Yes. Sticking to these longer ends.
Just a tad runny there, yeah, from Teysy, yep. Back to the line, though. He did have a much higher line then with that one than what Matty had playing the opposite side of the green.
I think these two will be pretty happy if they can find their line early. Obviously, I think their ability levels, they'll be able to fix the weight. As Matty just comes in, he looks pretty good here again. He's just going to nestle in behind. I think he'll be happy with that. It sort of covers the back bowl.
Teysy down to the shot bowl, down to the jack on the forehand. He was having a look at it.
Yeah, he looks interested. His weight looks pretty good.
Good effort.
Matty Pietersen just asking Steve Beckwith, our marker, who's got second and third shot. Obviously, from your view at home, probably looks quite obvious, but they're quite a way away down on the mat. Another huge thank you also to all the markers, volunteers. An event like this just can't happen without them. They've all given up their time. So kudos to them.
Good shot here by Matty Pietersen.
Great shot from Matty.
At 10 inches in front of the jack, covering the jack up. No, you're exactly right, Paddy. I mean, we've shouted out all the volunteers on every broadcast, but nothing like this gets off the ground unless you get a lot of help.
It's forced a change of hand there for Aaron. He looks to be just sliding under. Matty currently holding 2.
Matty's had a good look.
Yes, he is a notoriously slow player, I've been asked to mention, by his good mate Ben Twist, who is enjoying the festivities down here at the moment. Yes, I think if you want to beat Perm in a game of 31 up, you got to be in for the long haul.
It's a culmination of a big week for these boys.
Yes, he's on looks slightly wider out of the hand. It's coming back. It's all down to his weight.
Not quite able to get himself into the count, but he does collect 2. So it's 2-1. Pietersen leads.
Interesting to see what he does with the length here. He's played a few different lengths throughout the journey. No real change in the mat position. Mat back still.
I thought the players have predominantly played the longer ends.
Yeah, always. These guys, particularly early in the game, their go-to is get some length about it, get a really good feel for line and length before there's any changes. Generally, the change comes if somebody seems to be getting a handle on this longer length.
Yeah, exactly. It's another fair start there by Matt. He's just drifted through and underneath. Teys is out on a nice line here. He's just got to run down to the jack now. Not a lot, just a foot or two. Back to the line. Matt's going to persist with that backhand out there. I think that is the swoopier hand.
Absolutely, generally. Pretty good weight, just ducking under the line marginally. Yes, so the road side here, or the western side, traditionally will be the wider of the two hands.
Yep. Teys on his way here again. He's definitely getting here. I think he'll be happy with that. He really has found the line early,
Yep.
hasn't he?
So 1 and a measure is the indication from Marcus Steve.
Looks to be a change of hand here for Matty Pietersen.
Yep, his own bowl to work to. Drop underneath it. Down to it. Sat it dead centre, unfortunately, pushing
Yes.
it down past the Teys bowl.
Aaron Teys just asking the marker. It looks to be a measure now for shot.
In the earlier game, Teysy would have played this not. If it had been a little bit closer to the jack, he probably would have been playing more to sit the bowl and turn his own up. Given that there's a bit of margin here, he's opted to flat draw, and flat draw he has.
Yeah, that's a pearler.
That's it. Bowl down on the mat. Matty Pietersen down to there.
Yep, he's going to come and have a look.
Yeah.
He can't really go too crazy here. He's only got realistically one bowl in the head. I think most likely he'll just look for a forehand draw, flat draw. Small trail. He can use the inside of his bowl. Just doesn't want it to go out of the head or leave one bowl in the head with Teysy with one to come.
I'll be interested to see if that's exactly what he does play, Paddy, because seriously, if Timmy the Turtle was on commentary and he called that, he'd walk up and play something completely opposite.
Yeah, right. He's probably going to go big.
Righto, he's shaping up for that forehand.
Yep. It's on its way.
It is that draw line, so just looking to drop down to his own bowl. He's just going to high side. He's just a tad quick for
he's just
what
gone
he was
through
looking
oohs and
for.
ahs from the crowd. Now it'll be interesting to see what Aaron plays. I'm sure that he's had a good look at the head. Obviously, an indication that it's a measure for the next.
Wouldn't surprise me if he tries to get inside that wing bowl off the backhand side.
Just got to flop it out, or a little front toucher still makes him a little number as it is.
We'll soon know by the line he's chosen.
He's sticking with the backhand.
He is, and he's on the draw. So not playing for that bowl, urging it to get up.
Big urges.
urging it to get up.
It's getting up, I believe.
I don't think he has to urge it too much more.
He's got the fingers out for
The
a quick
magic
look.
fingers. Got to love
Yeah.
these magic fingers. Three.
Paddy,
Three.
you being at Matty Pietersen being representing the Big Park Reds this weekend.
Yep.
You get a few Big Park members down here today with you.
Yeah, we've got a handful sitting over in the sitting over watching. There's a few around the place. I think over the weekend we've probably had people come down on various days when they've got a bit of time off. Obviously it's Easter, so there's a lot of other things going on. But yeah, the club's got right behind it. We've got a little syndicate together, and yeah, it's been great. You know, we've got a bit of a relationship with St. John's, obviously having Ben and Brianna come over and play some pennants with us the last couple of years, and yeah, we thought, why not? We'll get a syndicate together, get behind it, and you know, they're just good. They're good people with great people, and also thanks to Russell. You know, he's great. He's put them up at his house, which I'm sure at times
He's got a house full. Don't worry about that.
Himself and Cheryl might wish that they weren't there, but no, it's been great. They love it here. They love the hospitality, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
I can tell you, Russell and Cheryl were grateful people were in the house on Thursday morning. I don't know
Yes.
if everybody's aware of the story there, but the
I
dogs
hear-
got out, got into the canal.
I hear it can be quite dangerous because there's not really anywhere for them to get out.
No. And Barry Lester and his jocks had to jump into the canal and fish the dogs out. And these aren't little scrappers. These
No.
things are full-size Labradors.
Proper
so,
dogs.
Yeah.
Sure, Cheryl and Caitlin weren't just put in there in purpose so they can.
You don't know.
Yeah,
Those guys were actually here at the time, so the call came through and it was a bit of a mass panic.
yeah, I believe that they've had a few issues with the dogs.
Oh, and just to pay back the generosity of
yeah.
people saving them, they then climbed into Twisties and Brianna's luggage, apparently, and got into the chockies and the
Got into
Twisties
the-
and whatever else they had.
Yeah, there was so no Easter eggs for Brianna
No
and Ben.
Easter
It was
eggs,
all for the dogs.
They're gorgeous dogs, but
Oh,
gee,
they're
they
great,
can
yeah.
get up to some mischief.
Yeah, so I've heard some stories from Russell over the years.
Probably seen some videos too
Yes.
of bins being upended and all types of things. So
Teys reaching here.
yeah,
He's
absolutely. He's
urging it to
down here
hold
under
for
this
the
front
split.
one.
Oh, that's a perler. There's not much else you can say about that. It's just great weight, great line, great lawn bowl.
So are we looking at the resurrection of the Reds, mate?
Yeah, we're going pretty good at the moment. We just doing our best. We've got a lot of novices. We've got a group of young fellas come down. A few people who know Marcus Sears young fellas, and they're a group of their mates. And we actually had 16 in the novice singles this year.
That's amazing.
So we're trying to, most of them under 30, which is great. So we're just doing our best to expose them as much as we can, and you know.
Super effort there from Matty Pietersen, just getting the high side glide off the shot bowl. But it still remains 2 and a measure to Teys. Sorry to cut you off there.
No, that's okay. Yeah. Bowls first.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to those guys getting old and retiring down here, and then they can come and
That's
play
what we
in the Murray
want.
League.
Yeah. Well, me and Sachi, we want to retire. We're ready to step down already. But no, it's great for the club. You know, it's there's a few clubs out there that are trying different things, and I think, you know, hats off to all of them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know, bowls is not like it used to be anymore. You've got to try different things and try and get other people involved, and they're coming in at the right age. Realistically, they could be anything. Starting in the mid to late 20s. I think give them 4 or 5 years, and you'd like to think if they want to go on with it, they could really play at the highest level in WA.
Yeah, Ronnie, you've been playing for a long time. You've been to many clubs.
Are you
Some
being
of your
disingenuous
back-
here or what?
You've been around a long
Tommy's
time.
a sniper, Matty.
Just inform us some of the clubs and some of the achievements you've done yourself.
Oh, nothing, mate. I got nothing.
I'm on the drive here.
And
And he's got
missing,
nothing.
unfortunately. So that's 2 and a measure. We'll work that out. Oh, no, I've been at this caper far too long, Tommy, as you well know.
Some of the clubs you've been represented.
So I've been very, very fortunate. I've managed in the Premier League, or the One Red competition here, as it was once upon a time known, to have been with W Aussie Park and Wanneroo in taking out those flags. Probably the one that has the most attached to it would be the Wanneroo flag. For no other reason except that the year before we actually won the premiership and the flag in the one white comp, and then went through and did it in the red comp. And to this day, that hasn't been accomplished by any other club.
I remember that very well. I was playing a big part then.
Yep.
And, I think we actually got relegated that year, and I think we actually managed to beat you somehow twice that year.
That wouldn't shock me at all, Tom. I think going in with about 3 rounds to go, we were no chance. And then managed to grab 3 really good results, one of which was 8-0 against Doubleview. And we snuck into the 4. The thing that I remember the most about that was at the beginning of that season, we'd had a bit of a sewage spill down on our D green on our B green that we would normally play on. And the greens got inspected, and we actually had all our greens, with the exception of about 2 rinks, closed. So with nowhere to play, I jumped on the phone and got in contact with Carlisle Lathlane, who at that point of time, arguably, had the best greens in the state. And that became our home club for the duration of that season. And the advantage that it served up to us was that's where the final was played. So all our guys were pretty comfy to walk out there at Carlisle and take on the rampaging Coburn outfit that had won something like 15 straight at that time. As we watched Teys come down on their forehand side and just go clunk, nail another one.
Yeah, Teys really has found it here. I think Perm will just like to try and get a couple of close ones that just settle the ship a little bit.
A couple of years ago, you did spend a couple of years over in Queensland.
Spent 3 years over in New South Wales. Yeah, and it was funny. There was a small club over there, the Asheville Bowling Club, which wasn't far from where we were living. We were shacked up in Leichhardt, and they were part of the first division competition over there, where they have the fly in, fly out players. The year before, they'd managed to finish runner-up. I think it was to Cabramatta in that comp. So getting over there and getting an opportunity to have a game at that level was super. But it was only a small club, so there wasn't a lot of social activity there. And
great set there by
another
Teys.
ripper by Teys down onto his shot bowl.
He's really
lays a really good 3.
He's putting the pressure on here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This is what we saw against young Jono this morning. So yeah, so went to a larger club, being Mount Lewis. Not really specifically looking for a game, looking more for the social aspects of things. And yeah, they're a pretty social crew over at Mount Lewis.
Yes.
Shout out to all the boys, Nathan Wise in particular, who I very fortunately led for the season.
That would have been a good experience. He's a very, very good bowler.
So the rink was myself, Freddie Ayub being the president of the club, and Steve Glasson playing 3 and Wisey 4.
That's a fair rink.
You bribe somebody or something to get a rink like that?
Yeah.
Oh, seriously, man.
Freddie's a great man.
Freddie is
big supporter of bowls, Mr. Fred Ayub.
Yeah, when you're knocking off at 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to get out of the club, and Fred's saying, "Come and have a beer at my place," no, you're in good company.
Yeah, we've obviously got
It's easy just putting on a clinic here with draw shot after draw shot.
Fred, the Drake's Pride man. We've got the Such down at Vic Park now. His main aim is to convert every one of those young up and coming bowlers into the Drakes. I think he's really hanging on to his old sponsorship Fred gave him 20 years ago. Obviously his ability's not going to get him there anymore, but
he's pretty chirpy, old Suchy.
Yeah, he's a chirpy man.
A chance.
But he's got some good stories about him and Matty Pietersen. They played a lot together back in the day.
Okay, Matty on the fly. Oh, he's close.
He's close.
He's close. Got it.
Great shot, Matty.
If it wasn't out, it was going to be out after the bowler followed it in and pushed it further out of bounds. So
That
great
is
shot
a
by Mathew
very
Pietersen.
big bowl under pressure, 4 down. You wouldn't say a huge target. They were all in a bit of a line. He looked quite relieved with that one. So how many years did you have at Mount Lewis?
I just had the
Ray?
12 months at Mount Lewis.
Yep.
Coincidentally,
Good
that was the year I actually came over and played in this event.
Yep.
And unfortunately for me, I was as crook as a dog, and I don't have a great lot of memories about it. But
Was that the year Russell won it?
that was the year my brother won it, and Daniel Brown beat me in the semi-final. So if I'd have managed to somehow fluke that win, it would have been 2 brothers going against one another in the final that year.
You obviously would have got up in that one.
So, yeah, let's go with that.
You got any funny stories through bowls to tell everyone? Ronald,
No,
or ones that can be told.
probably not.
Yeah, so I'm going to also say no. There are a lot of funny things have happened, but I don't know if they're okay for the live stream.
One thing I will tell you, if you're down in the Mandurah area and you'd like a cold beer and a chat and a laugh, because we do a fair amount of that down here, rock on into the Mandurah Bowling and Recreation Club.
It is a great club, this. It's, this indoors really
Our facilities
very
are superb,
impressive.
aren't they?
It's- yeah, we were discussing it on the drive down this morning, and we just don't have. I mean, we just don't have this in Perth. We sort of miss a nice indoor that. Not that there aren't indoors, but yeah, that this is great.
Yeah, we're spoiled. If you get the opportunity, take a drive out to Pinjarra and have a look at their
Yeah, I've
new
heard it's a perler.
Oh. And because it's covered that surface, that
Pinjarra or Horsehead?
no, Pinjarra, yeah. Horsehead's
Fair shot there
endeavouring
from Mathew Pietersen.
to cover some greens. They're not quite there yet, but that structure out at Pinjarra is super.
Andy Point's actually endeavouring to cover one of theirs or 2 of theirs.
Okay, yeah. Is Matty making that much money down there, mate?
Had a benefactor, I think.
Which goes a long way in a bowling club, I can tell you. Pinjarra's benefactor out there tipped
Great
in about
reply there.
500k towards it, so. But what it's done to the green, it actually has increased the speed of the green. So the green runs 16 seconds all the time without having to do much to it at all. So we played our Murray League Grand Final, First Division out there. So, and just a really progressive little club.
Oh, they're a great club. They what they're doing with their they've got a few juniors.
Junior
They've got,
program, yep.
Obviously getting Perm calls for it to be good.
He needs it to hold.
It's
It's doing its best. It's just ducked under. It's a super shot.
May have drawn the shot there.
Stevie Beckwith jumping in to have a look and advises Aaron Teys that he's down. Teysy searching. He's after that shot bowl.
He's
Needs for it to
close.
drop. Needs for it to drop. Got a piece of the jack, unfortunately.
Oh, he's chipped it out, and I believe Matty will be holding one there.
He'll be holding one and
With-
5 feet for a second.
I think he'll back himself to draw this.
Yeah, so if you, in recent times, Tommy, I've had a couple of years out of Pinjarra and we won a couple of flags out there, which was actually the first division flag Pinjarra has won in its 74-year history.
That was last season.
That was 2 seasons back. Yeah, so that was sensational to be a part of that, really. The local community out there at Pinjarra, I mean, they get right up behind their guys. And shout out to Brad Ball and his recruiting.
He's on his way, Perm. We'll have a special guest joining the broadcast after this end. We'll keep an eye on this bowler, Perms. It looks like he has done
Nailed it.
enough. He just
Yeah.
wants it to stay up. Yeah, he's good.
That'll do.
That'll be 2 to the Perm. Very, very special guest. One of Mathew's good friends, all-round nice guy, Ben Twist.
As he has a chuckle to himself.
He's having a little laugh in the background. I'm sure everyone out there at home knows who Ben Twist is. So I'm happy to check out for a while and let him. He knows what he's talking about. So I'm happy for him to jump in. So I'm happy to pass it over to Mr. Ben Twist.
Thanks, Paddy.
Thanks.
Oh, Twisty. He's got a smile from ear to ear. He can't believe that gob. Oops, I was going to swear then.
Hello, hello.
I think you're on.
I'm on.
Hello, mate.
Hello, how are we going?
Going good?
Thanks, Pat. Thanks for those really sincere words.
You don't have to go very far to get sniped, do you, mate? Good start by Perm. So, Tommy, after you've finished trying to embarrass me, how about getting into this bloke? Oh, dear. Teysy just turns around and goes, again, anything you can do? So Tommy was quizzing me, mate, about my prowess and achievements on the bowling green, and I'm going, you're kidding, yeah? So I've had the misfortune. I don't know that you'd have any recollection of it, Twisty. I think I've played you twice. I think there was an indoor up at Tweed.
Yep.
Where you absolutely embarrassed me. And then I think one of the games, Mount Lewis St John's, Wisey was skippering.
Yep.
I think we might have got the better of you on that occasion.
Yep.
So we're 1-1, and I'm not looking forward to playing game 3 because I know what that outcome will be.
Good shot there from Perm. He's just opened that up, made that look a little better. Speaking of resumes, these two are two of the top ones going around, aren't they?
Yeah, no, rippers.
Obviously, Teesy's last 10 years has been unbelievable what he's won. It's almost everything.
Yep.
And I've always said, Perm, in my personal opinion, I'm biased because I'm a club mate and a really good friend of his, but I've always said that Perm's the top 5 singles players I think we've had in this country over the last 20 or 30 years. I can't name 5 people that's done what he's done in singles.
Okay, yep.
Unbelievable. So both these guys haven't won an Everest before. The Everest is the most lucrative tournament going around. So I know they're both pretty big on ticking off those sort of bucket lists on the resume.
Okay, yep.
and you know, achieving those sort of things. So this is quite a big game for both of these players, I would say, because it's so hard to make these finals. They just don't come around all the time.
I think Perm has probably switched over. He has onto the forehand side, searching. Just needs that to hold a smidge longer. He's made contact slicing across the back of Teesy's bowl.
Well, it's easy on the full draw here now. He'd love to turn this jack around the corner.
Absolutely.
If he can do that, he shuts his head right down.
And he's off after it. Gets
I've heard Perm's got an unusual achievement the year that he won his first state singles.
Actually, fun fact. So Perm, Mathew Pietersen, he won the state singles when he was 15 years old in New South Wales, out of Parks Bowling Club, which is where he's from.
Justin Opie won a singles over here. I'm not quite sure how old he was.
I don't think he was quite 15. Might have been 16 just.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I believe Perm holds the record for New South Wales at 15.
Yep.
And he actually used these exact set of bowls as what he's using today. So he used these brown Vectors, Taylor Vectors they are. I don't know if he wore Converses back then. He might have. But yeah, he the thing I think you're referring to is that the year he won the New South Wales Open men's singles, he also lost first round of his club novice singles. I doubt anyone's ever done that before.
Who who had the distinguished of beat him in the?
I
novice
don't
style?
know, but if anyone knows, please comment and tell us.
Was that at St John's Park or was that
He was
somewhere
at
else?
he was at Parks then, so he's originally from Parks, yeah, country New South Wales. So this is a tough shot here.
Yes.
He's just trying to make contact and run through.
And if he does, it just opens it up. Oh, no, and it flopped
Well,
in.
he's got a
Got the
great
right
result
roll.
there.
Yep.
If he hasn't got the shot, he's only one down.
Teys, he's got the magic fingers working again. He's shaking his head.
I would
So
suggest
I think
he's
he's
probably
down.
one down.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, he had good weight, I think. He just obviously was a fraction tight of where he wanted, but made a connection and got a fantastic result.
I think Teys' mind's going back to the game he played against Warren Holt, where he held multiples on numerous occasions, and Warren managed to get a bowl in there
Yeah.
to
Yep.
turn the head around back to his favour. So
Oh.
Teys does believe he's down because he's up at this.
He's awfully close to this shot bowl.
And the
Oh,
jack.
he's got the jack. That's just as good.
That's definitely the one. As the boys make their way down from the mat end, have a look. Okay, gone for the umpire. Out will come out the string measure. So Benny, originally from Queensland?
Yes,
Yourself?
personally, yep.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, born and bred in Brisbane.
Yep.
Yeah, made the move down to St John's Park in Sydney almost 15 years ago now. Yeah.
All right, who talked you into that move?
It was Steve Glasson, actually,
Yep.
at the time. Yeah, so I played a little bit with Steve Glasson amongst the Aussie stuff, and he was a director at the time at
Mhm.
St John's and was instrumental in sort of getting that move. And Paul Girdler, who was a former New Zealand international, he was the bowls manager at the time. Yeah.
I'm going to say because you're still a young bloke compared to me, so you would have been what, early 20s making
Yeah, I
that
was
move?
20. Yeah,
20?
I was
Yep.
20. So Matty Pietersen, actually, he was there 3 years before me.
Okay.
So under the same sort of thing, they when he was just turned 18, he got a job offer and he was doing university down in Sydney. So he ended up joining St John's
Okay.
just a couple of years before I did.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I can't not ask about the Lord, Lee Such. I've seen the early videos of him with a svelte waistline and far more hair.
Yeah, we won't mention the personal hygiene either.
Oh,
but
okay,
there's other things that have gone
no,
downhill as
you
well.
know more about him than I do.
Yeah, Sachi was actually a bowls coordinator when I first went. I actually worked with
okay.
him.
Yeah.
So we worked in the bowls office together, and that was interesting.
Talking about the Lord Such, there's some adverts going around somewhere. I don't know if many people have seen them. Maybe you might be able to enlighten us on those adverts a bit more twisty.
Drake's Pride adverts? Yeah, they did a series of those a couple of years ago. If you haven't seen them, I don't know if they're on YouTube or not. I presume they probably are. They're certainly worth watching. Very, very funny. He always calls himself the face of Drake's Pride. Such he does. He actually filled in today in the fours, which was the consolation event for those that didn't win their section.
Indeed.
You might have spoke about this already.
Oh, not yet, no.
Oh, okay.
Unfortunately, we had a medical situation where
We did.
the president of the Hallshead Bowling Club, Wayne Langbourne, has managed to wind up with an Achilles injury of some form. We're not entirely sure what the prognosis is, but he was unable to continue, and as we had to get him off to the hospital, get him looked at. And you're right, Sachi just happened to be loitering, and I don't know whether he instigated it or not, but he managed to fill in for that side, which turned out to be the winning side. Yeah, and I went out and checked how they were going after 4 ends, and they were actually 12-0 down.
Yeah.
And they didn't recover.
Of all the people that were here, they chose him to sub in. I don't know why they would do that.
So then I've gone on had a chat with Ross Breslin, who predominantly skippered that rink, which, like I've mentioned, it actually became the winning rink, and said to him, "Gee whiz, man, hey, you get Sachi in there, and he's nobbled you." And he's actually confessed that Sachi was the best on green, and the other three played rubbish. So he's done his job.
He has done his job.
He was wandering around the bar earlier looking for his cut of the prize money, though.
Yeah, actually, when we did the presentation, he jumped on the microphone and did the acceptance speech.
He did.
I said to him, "What are you doing, you idiot? You're 0 wins minus 10. You're the worst player on the field."
He'd take that as a compliment,
He
I think.
would. He would. Teysy just missing his line there with that last one. Chance to correct here. Oh, he's urging this one to run. I think that might just pull up. This is probably the first wayward end we've seen, actually. The heads have been fantastic thus far.
Absolutely, yeah. I've been very fortunate to be broadcasting this. I've had 4 days of watching stellar bowls.
These two in the semi-final were nothing short of amazing.
No, they were
really.
terrific.
Matty Pietersen's first 2 bowls against Corey was phenomenal. He just kept nailing and finding the centre line, and Teysy's conversion against young Joey Clark were exceptional. As soon as Joey did get close, Teysy just found something better, which, as we know, is what he does best, his conversions. But this is certainly shaping up to be one hell of a game.
Perm out on the right type of line for his wider drawing set of bowls. Weight's not shabby either.
Beautiful. Might see some weight here from Teysy. Certainly got no reason to be short, and it is his backhand swinger. Looking for the jack.
Just got to drop a smidge. You can tell by the crowd. That just set up a little high. We'll get to that. His perm's gone down to have a survey of the situation.
Yeah, I think he's looking at where he needs to trail the jack to bring his other bowl in. He's got a couple of chances if he does switch over to the back end. He can land his second shot or land Teys' closest bowl to count, but he thinks if he can get back to the jack and trail it a foot or two, he's going to make a full count here. He's a perfectionist, Perm. He looks at all the angles and all the little things left, right and centre.
So we are down the backhand side. No doubt looking just to get that little trail on the jack if you can manufacture it. Not convinced that he's quite got it out as high as he needs to. Hasn't quite centred it either. So it'll be 2 to Perm. He gets to close that gap. 4 shots, not insurmountable this early in the game. 31 up.
Yeah, he's done well just to keep it close. He's probably been outplayed thus far by Aaron Teys. At 7-2 and 4-0 down, he had that massive drive that killed the end. That was a big, big turning point.
Now, Twisty, what have you got in line for the next few months? Other than pennants, got anything special lined up?
Yeah, so well, the next thing is our platinum pennant. So our New South Wales platinum pennant did kick off last weekend with a triple header. So we've got a double header this weekend, and that we'll have a break the following week, and then conclude that in about 5 weeks' time. So that's pretty much where our focus is at the moment. There's not a lot of events on. We've got the Warilla four-a-side coming up in a couple of weeks, so there's a few teams from around the country. Actually, a few WA teams as well heading over for that, which would be fantastic. But outside of that, the next couple of months is actually pretty quiet. It's actually not bad. It's been very, very hectic this start of the year with events, not only on the weekend, but midweek as well.
Mm-hmm.
And Teesy's been a part of most of those Commonwealth Games trials and,
Yep.
and different events, such here and such there. So the next month or so, believe it or not, just playing 2 or 3 times a week is actually a bit of a break. So it's nice to have sometimes.
So just for all the viewers out there, to become an Australian rep, is it 7 days a week you're out on the green?
Not always. It certainly can be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it certainly can be. There's periods where we play for weeks on end. That's a good shot here from Perm.
Yeah, great shot. Trail it off.
Yeah, you certainly don't get too much time away from the game, that's for sure.
Teys not quite sending that one. He'd be slightly disappointed with his efforts there. But when you have the talent of Aaron Teys, you just walk up with the next one and get it.
So Mathew will change over to his forehand as well. As you said, you don't think those bowls are close enough yet with Aaron Teys with
No.
2 bowls remaining. Looks like Perms also hasn't sent this as well though.
Look out.
Oh, that's me.
I'm assuming.
I was about to get you to.
Glute free.
Well, he's just needs to get to the shot bowl here or the jack. Oh, he's trying to touch it. I'm not sure who shot there. Perm just getting confirmation from our marker. 1 red, so that's
One
1 to
red.
Mathew Pietersen.
It is. We called it early. It's easy. Next bowl.
Yeah,
Right in the area.
Ah, the form he's been in this week, that's not close enough.
He's come to us fresh off a Warilla singles final against clubmate Gary Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
And he was saying that Gary cleaned him up very nicely and said he was relentless. And the early form Gary Kelly showed in this tournament, I could see why. I think he missed drawing a front toucher about 4 times in the game that we broadcast. You just go, wow.
Yeah, I did watch a bit of that live stream game that the Gorillas did, and yeah, Gary was exceptional. I don't know if you guys covered the game that Gary lost here against Jack East or not.
No.
But yeah, from all accounts, Jack was pretty
Pretty
good
handy,
himself in that
yeah.
game. Yeah,
Here comes Teysy again.
he's looking for the jack.
Down to the
Stay with it
jack.
this time.
Oh,
Oh, he's
the
fallen
balls have
out.
just flopped, not quite his way, yeah.
I think that's still going to be. It is.
It is.
Still 1 to Matty. So he closes the gap. 10 shots to 7 now. Of course, this final 31 up.
31 up.
You don't see a lot of 31 up these days.
It's funny you say that. I mean, to me, so when I spent time on the East Coast, 31 up was the norm in club singles. In all the years I've played bowls here in WA, the only other 31 up final that I've seen was held at the Bullsbrook Bowling Club, which is, what's that, north of Midland, all the way out along the Brand Highway, and I'd never heard of it before. Never heard of it before, so.
New South Wales state singles, I seem to see they only went to 25 this year. Was that the first year they done that?
So it's been a couple of years now. I think it's 3 or 4 years.
Mhm.
Everything used to be 31 up with us until about 3 or 4 years ago when we did the amalgamation. The men and the women joined together and they did a bit of a revisit on the certain formats and that. And they decided that we would sort of basically follow suit of a lot of the other states.
Yep.
I'm not sure if we were the only state left at 31 up. I think we might have been. So we ended up going back to 25. And then it was up to the clubs what they wanted to do for their club singles. And to my knowledge, most clubs just followed suit with the
dropped
state.
back to 25, yeah.
Seems to be the way the game's going. It's getting a bit shorter, and you see a lot of now sets play formats with BPL, and even the World Cup at the moment with Kelsey Cottrell and Jack McShane over in Scotland. It's all sets play of 7 ends or 9 ends, and the Commonwealth Games is going to be an even shorter format when we see that over in Scotland next year. Seems to be the way the game's going. Just that shorter, quicker format. I'm presuming for viewership. I'm guessing, trying to get more engagement.
I would think so. It probably makes. I mean, the die-hard traditionalists will be
I love
rolling over,
31
going.
up. Oh, for me, like this game is amazing. 31 up between two great players. Dead ends to be replayed. For me, that is the epitome of our sport.
Yep.
It's a war of attrition, and you always get the best player winning that game. But I do get the idea of the sets play in the shorter format. I do understand it.
I think it's a bit of a generational shift as well, mate. I mean, once upon a time, I would have said people are more time poor now. But and I don't mean this disrespectfully, but to me, people seem to get distracted more easily now.
Yeah.
So, so they get in, they get and play, and then they can move on and do something else. You know? So
Yep.
In saying that though, it seems to be your state fours and your triples and your pairs are still extremely long games. They're 21 ends.
Yes, they are. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Whereas we're down to about 17 ends for our finals for that.
no, 21 on the fours.
Was it?
I think it's about 18 for the pairs. What do we do? 21, 25 up for the state singles. No, that was a question. 21 or 25?
25.
25, yes, thanks. It's been a long time since I got anywhere near that final.
So, yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, how it's all sort of unfolding. But so we see Teys here with one and a measure. Our marker doing the measuring symbol for that second shot. Won't change Perm's shot. He'll just be drawing away here. Try and draw the shot. He'd love to draw second, but the shot would be an added bonus. Yeah, it's a funny one. I said I'm on the fence. As someone who's been playing bowls for a few decades, I like to think I'm a traditionalist, and I do like the longer formats. But particularly if there's television involved and you're trying to engage a younger audience
That's
or a
right.
different demographic, I do understand the sets play and that sort of stuff as well. Yeah, you see what darts are done with their sort of short formats,
yep,
quick
yep.
fire, and I'd love to see our sport get to a level of that. Whether we can or not, we'll soon to see. But
unfortunately for Perm there, he hasn't quite got down. So Teys
Yeah, I
will
think-
lie at least one. Yeah, it's all a conversation piece, really, in that we've got so many variations of the game now. We've actually got the national blind bowlers playing down here in a couple of weeks' time. So you have the blind bowlers, the paras, the all abilities, all
Yep.
these types of formats as well. So trying to accommodate everybody into the game, it's got to be a challenge for the administrators.
it is. Well, Teysy's played this quite well. Just needs to get past that bowl away. Beautiful speed. He had to play it tight. He didn't want to flirt with Perm's wing bowl. If he's any wider there, he does count. Well, looks like we'll find out. Might be a measure here for this second shot.
In Teys, he played our local legend, publican, Mark Simpson.
Yes.
Simo's a magic fingers expert as well. So they had a head. Simo gets in with his magic fingers, steps back. Teysy gets in with his, steps back. They get a measure. They measure it. They can't agree. Umpire. But
Better than putting the doily out.
oh, don't you go getting in trouble with the lady bowlers of the world. Gee whiz.
No comment.
Given your association with a lady bowler, mate, yeah, I'd be steering well clear of any of that.
We'll just talk about Perm's elastic measure here.
Has he got one of those
Yeah,
ones?
he's got one of them. No, I'm only kidding.
A Drake's Pride special. Sachi set him up for it, did he?
Well, going off that, looks like one. Matty's pretty confident. So we're going to get the umpire to make sure. But just going off Matty's measure, he's quite confident this is only one.
I've mentioned it on earlier broadcasts. We're really fortunate to have the ITOs give up their time and come down and be professional markers, if you like, in inverted commas, for the finals play. I mean, we've had a couple of these guys here for the whole duration.
Yep.
and they've been helping out Sue and a team. Prior to that, we had a lot of our club people and people within the Murray League clubs that have turned up and dedicated some time and helped out with all the marking. I'd have to sit down and take my shoes and socks off to count up all the games that have been played.
It's a big job. When there's so many singles games over quite a number of days here, it's a big job. You need those volunteers, and the ITOs in particular, they've all had specific training and they know their
Exactly
rules,
right.
they know what they're doing, and obviously you accept any sort of volunteers role, but you just know the ITOs are going to be more professional and they know what they're doing. I'm not sure exactly what training it goes through. I don't know if you know what they have to do to get that qualification.
Personally, no, but I think that they're a tier 1 or a grade 1 umpire? Is that how they sort of go about doing this type of stuff to become an ITO?
Yeah.
Again, I'm an old bloke, so they were always umpires.
Yeah. And a good start here from Teys.
Yeah, when I read the back of their shirt and it says ITO, and I'm going, what's one of them?
Yeah.
But we really appreciate them giving us their time to help us out with this tournament. Very importantly, though, shout out to all the volunteers that got involved early in the tournament and helped us get through all those multitudes of singles games. So, thanks, guys.
So, Maddie just playing a full draw here. Just sneaking underneath.
Vector VSs. I haven't seen a set of those for quite some time.
So these ones are quite. He got these re-stamped a couple of years ago, as you have to do with your BA regulations. But as I said, these are the bowls that he did win the state singles with when he was 15 years old, which was about 20 or 21 years ago.
Great shot by Teys. Down onto his own. Bit of cover on the jack.
So, one down is the call. I think he'll switch over to his forehand, try and use his own bowl back to the jack.
Just looking to get to the inside half. He actually sits it fat, puts it into a great catching position given the position of the jack in relation to the bowl.
Yeah, beautiful speed there. He's always guaranteed some form of result, whether it was a shot or improving the head. I think that's the key with these players as well. When you're playing singles, it's all about putting your first two bowls in a position where you can set the head up. You both know that these guys are good enough to convert anything. If they can set the head up with their first two bowls and apply pressure and give themselves a shot, that really is the key. Oh, Teys just falling a tad short of where he would have liked.
Yeah, for those that tuned into the Facebook stream earlier when Teys was playing Joey Clark, it was exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He was basically asking the question of Joey every end. And if you missed, you paid a price.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Switch back to the backhand. Down to the shot bowl. Little bump to his catcher if he can manufacture it. He's looking pretty
He likes this a lot. Urging it to hold.
Just sliding underneath. Oh, there's more oohs and ahs from behind the head, the spectators.
There's plenty of oohs and ahs from the side where they couldn't quite see the line. They knew his weight was good. For those of us watching the cameras or sitting behind, we knew he was just always fractionally underneath the line. But that is where the jack's going to go. Teesy's got to try and come around his last bowl now and cover that.
Yep.
Perm can actually make 4 here if nothing changes and get to the inside of the bowl. So Teysy will try and get right to Mathew's last bowl. He's slightly underweight, but he might count. Well, he hasn't counted, but he hasn't made it any easier.
No, it has not made it any easier.
Might force Matty back to the forehand here. That's not a bad result there from Teysy. There he is. You can see him just pointing out where he wanted to be. And that shows you the respect as well. Like, this is not an easy shot, but Teys knows the caliber of Matty Pietersen, and you just know you can't. Sometimes you can't afford to miss. You can't give him too many chances. You can see Teys, he's played a really good end, but he's upset with himself, and that shows you the respect that he has for Perm.
As he makes his way back to the mat end.
I think he'll play forehand. What do you think? Do you think
I thought the angles changed
Yeah.
sufficiently for him to force him over to the forehand side. Yep. But he can work off the wing bowls
He
as
can.
well, back down to the shot bowl. Ideally, he gets across the front of the shot bowl, but I think you just take a good result.
Yeah. Oh, he needs a fair bit of weight on that line.
This might be a little bit of an issue, pushing that down on, not quite springing it. I think he's going to put
Didn't
the
quite have the
Teys.
weight, really.
Yeah.
I think he's hitting him in for 2 there. Probably a perfect line in the end. He just might have lacked a couple of feet to a metre of weight.
And it is 2. Teys score 11-7. Continues to be a tight contest. So while we're waiting for this one to set up, mate, give us a bit of an insight into playing the BPL against some of the absolute superstars of the game. The bloke that comes to mind is Alex Marshall.
Yeah.
What's it like going toe-to-toe with Alex?
Oh, it's fantastic. The BPL is, it is the best showcase of our sport.
Mhm.
To play in it's just an unbelievable feeling. I remember my first BPL, my first live television game. I was just so nervous. And as you play a few more, you get used to it, obviously. But it's just a great thing to be a part of. The hype around the BPL is fantastic, and I think it's just continuing to grow. Every year it seems to get more and more popular.
Mhm.
And I think this season, bringing in a couple of new teams and
Yep.
a few more internationals, we saw the limelight around Alex Marshall when he first played, having the goat of bowls. But just in the introduction of a few more international marquees, Jamie Walker, Nicky Brett, Paul Foster.
Paul
We saw
Foster,
how
yep,
amazing
yep,
he was
yep.
in the last BPL for the Geelong Jets. I think it just adds a little bit of extra hype having those big name internationals, and certainly as a player, it's quite amazing to come and play against Alex Marshall as well. It's as someone a bit of a bowls tragic myself, you see him play Potters and other different events and Commonwealth Games and World Bowls, and when you do get to share the same rink as him, it's you do feel a little bit blessed. We don't get that a lot in other sports. Like I love golf, but I know I'm never going to play against Tiger Woods.
It's the beauty of this sport.
Yeah, it is. It is. I think that's been one of the beauty of this particular event as well. We've got so many great players that have played here in Mandurah this week. And we've had a few people that have thrown their hat in the ring as well. They've won qualifiers, or they've won raffles, or they've put up the entry fee to give themselves a crack. And there's no discrimination here. You can just put your hat in the ring. And I would say if you love lawn bowls and whether you rate yourself to win the tournament or not, it's a great experience if you want to come over next year. And you really can't lose. If you play in a section that you win, you're doing well, you can win money. And if you come up and play against an Aaron Teys, well, you're only learning and you're getting that great experience against someone like that. And that's sort of how I feel when I play the BPL. It's you play against those amazing players like Alex, and it's you either win or you learn.
As Teys tries to correct. Could have been an unusually loosey type head, this one, and
It
the
is.
boys haven't quite managed to nail it.
But that does count. It's these loose ones you can sometimes drop, soft 3s and 4s.
Yeah, they're the ones that you really growl at yourself as you walk away, going,
So 2 it is. Was the paddles from our marker. I don't think it'll change Matty Pietersen's shot. I expect him to draw here, although we can see the jack. Well, he is
and
going the
here's
jack.
good jack. Yep. It looks like he's getting bowl through the jack. Puts it in the well. How's the back 2 now? I think Teys' expression pretty much sums up his thoughts on that.
Yeah. Yeah, he got a good result. If he clipped the bowl out, he's still one down, but he's got onto the jack to lie 2. Teesy's got just under 6 feet here to draw the shot.
You'd back him in, wouldn't you?
Oh, back him in, but these are never easy. They're never easy. Oh, they're about 5 feet to draw the shot here.
Looks a touch low for line, but that's his bowl, and he's pumped it up past for shot. I think it's Perm's time now to shake his head as he walks away.
I think his weight was pretty good there.
Yeah, I
If he
think
got
he's
a
giving
clear
himself
road,
a
I think,
chance
yeah,
to it, yeah.
exactly right. He
And
might.
you talk about the opportunities to play anybody in this game. When I was in Sydney, I introduced my wife to this game
Mm-hmm.
to establish some friendships around the place. And I think she'd been playing about 4 weeks. And they entered an event, ladies' triple event. And in game 1, they drew Tash Scott, Alan Ryan, and Genevieve Delves. And at the end of the game, the wife turned around and said, "Do you mind if you guys keep playing so I can keep watching?" I think they struggled to actually get on the board. So, but that's it. You enter an event, you walk up, and you just don't know who you're going to be playing against in our
absolutely.
sport.
100%. I don't think Perm can see this bowl to run it out. No, he's just drawing on the forehand. Trying to come around his front bowl and draw the shot.
How's he looking? He's cleared that. He's just got to stop now. Great shot.
Oh, he's played out a bomb. Oh, and hats
Great
off
shot.
from Teysy as well. Some good sportsmanship there. Teysy takes his hat off and just acknowledges that shot.
I'm just looking at the edge of ring 4 there. That's looking a bit rough.
Yeah.
Just to put everybody's mind at ease, May 20 is when I'm told we're pulling this up and it's getting resurfaced.
It's still a good surface though. It's still pretty nice.
Yeah, it's playable.
Yeah,
it really is playable.
Always love a blue carpet as well. Just comes up nice.
It's nicer.
Sorry, it's nicer.
Blue, yeah, definitely. It's a lot easier on the eyes, I reckon.
Mm-hmm.
So, still early days in this final. 31 up. Matty Pietersen just staying within range at the moment.
That's it.
Coming up with a couple of really big bowls at the right time to just keep himself in touch. Of course, Perm's known as a bit of a scrapper. I would call him his singles play. As I said earlier, I'm very biased because he's one of my best friends, but I would say he'd be a top 5 singles player we've had in Australia over the last couple of decades, and his record proves that. A couple of state singles in New South Wales. He's won a Golden Nugget. He's won 3 Park Beach singles, which used to be our biggest singles event in the country for those that may not be aware, and many other singles events as well. And Teysy's got a very similar record as well. Teysy hasn't won the Golden Nugget, but he's been runner-up. He's won Australian Champions, World Champions, different events, left, right and centre. But yeah, Permy, just known as a bit of a scrapper. He's always just the guy you can't quite get away from.
There or thereabouts all the time.
I've no doubt that in Teasy's mind, Teasy's very mentally strong, but I've no doubt in Teasy's mind that he probably feels like he's outplaying Perm by a fair bit at the moment, but Perm's just hanging in there. He's only 1 or 2 ends away from getting back level, and that's just what he does. That's what makes him such a hard singles player to beat.
He gets those VSs out on that nice wide archy. They just keep dropping back to the jack.
You see a lot of the top players just sort of going towards the wider bowl on indoor. You see Henry and Gary Kelly use the wide ones a lot as well, and Teysy sort of. That's a great shot. These are optimisms from Teysy, but they're quite a wide bowl. But you've seen him sometimes use revolutions and that on the indoors. You see Jeremy Henry and and those guys do that as well. And Alex Marshall normally uses Tiger Twos.
Tiger Teys, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, just that erring on that wider side, just getting that extra bit of bend. I think that's why Perm's gone back to his vectors. He did use his SRVs on the outdoor green. That's a
Yep.
great shot. But just like most players, erring on the wider side on the carpet.
Just take any irregularities out of
I
play.
think it's what it makes it
Yeah.
more predictable. I think just that obviously it's not you haven't got the wind and other variables as
Yep.
well you've got to worry about. So I think it just makes it a little bit more predictable and get around the bowl. So Teys would love to just sit this bowl or trail the jack himself.
He's in the area.
Yes, he's urging you to hurry.
Hurry down that line. Just dropping underneath it.
Good piece of speed. And he's got himself into a pretty good home there for his next one.
So your choice on this end here. Does Perm try to cover, trail it himself, or does he get out the back?
Look, it's 50-50 is what you're confident with. I wouldn't leave this for Teys. I think Teys got a couple of too many options here. I'd be playing the backhand if I were Perm, the right-hander's backhand, trying to trail the jack or draw the shot himself and shut this head down. If he can draw a toucher around the corner, he's going to make 2 or 3 and potentially hide that jack and make it a lot more difficult for Teys.
Well, I think Matty's on the same page as you, mate.
Yes.
Just needs it to start biting now. Wow.
Well, he's done enough for 2, I believe.
He's not even asking the marker. This thing's coming down very quickly. Needs to bite a little bit himself. Cleaned everything except the shot bowl.
Well, it wasn't plan A, but it was plan B. He removed that second shot. So another one to Matty Pietersen.
Single to Matty Pietersen, yep.
13 shots to 9 now. Righto, well, I'm going to step out of commentary, gentlemen. We'll put in our semi-finalist from this morning. Joey Clark will come in and relieve me. So thank you very much.
I was going to say, you're the second one that say relieve me. It's bad terminology over here in the West. It has so many connotations to it. Thanks, Benny. Champion.
No worries, boys.
Really enjoyed the chat. Thanks, mate.
Thanks. Yeah.
Okay.
Joey Clark,
There you go.
semi-finalist, Everest 2025. How you going, mate?
Good self.
Going good. First time WA?
Second time. First
Second
time for
time?
bowls.
Yep.
First time I played bowls here, but yeah, went when I was younger, so it's good to be back. It's a beautiful spot out here in Mandurah. Really enjoyed my time on and off the green.
You've been one of the many shacked up at Russell's place.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, beautiful place out in the water. It's absolutely stunning.
You haven't fallen in the river, have you, while you've been there?
Nah, not that silly.
It's not a river, by the way.
Estuary, whatever you call it.
Just getting geographically correct. Right. Yeah. Righto, Teysy down on the backhand side, just sliding down under his wing bowl. Not sure which one's shot out of him and Perm.
An interesting old start. Perm's just been scrapping around, just hanging in tough the last half an hour.
Funny you use that term. That's exactly how Twisty described him.
Yeah.
It looks like he's dropping somewhere near this jack this time. He's got onto the
good
front of it,
shot.
unfortunately, and pushed it down. Teysy will retain shot. he was a bit surprised by that, but he does hold shot.
Need another one in there now. Old Teysy. Good head here for Perm for his last one.
Good shot. Up.
Shot.
Gets him another one in the head. That'll give Matty something more to ponder.
It's just made this last one tricky because if Perm tries to land that bowl, there's a chance of pushing his own out for a
Yep.
couple down. Chance of dropping a few.
How's that look from behind there, Matt? That Permas change over, play the backhand. Can he squeeze that jack out to his jack-eye bowl on the other side? We'll see. We'll see how he goes about it.
Yeah.
So
He's either doing that
what-
or he's just trying to dead draw it in the forehand. Well, you're right, or he does switch over and just tries to squeeze that one through the jack.
So you're part of Team Reds, mate?
Yeah, the Red Ras. Yeah. No, we're loving it. Get the Red Ras. No, they've been very accommodating for us. We really appreciate them getting us down here. It's been awesome.
And how long you been at St John's, mate?
2.5 years now at St John's. 2 years living there, but no, it's been great. Loving the bowl side of things. It's been unreal. A lot of opportunities come with it, and it's awesome.
And what clubs were you at before St John's?
For St John's, I was at Park Beach Bowls Club in Coffs Harbour. God's country, in my opinion. Nah, just joking. But Park Beach for a few years, and I started originally at Sawtell, around Coffs area too. Yeah, so I still get a lot of love and support from back home, which is always appreciated.
Now you were probably involved in one of the most exciting games of pairs recently at the Aussie Open. What was it like being involved in that match?
Yeah, I'll just get to that in a second. Teys just knocked himself out.
Just
There, be one to
Turned his
one to
own
Perm,
out.
I think.
Yeah, he might have gone from 1 up to 1 down with that.
Yeah. Oh, you were saying the pairs, sorry. That was awesome. Doing it with a great mate. 2 20-year-olds just chucking them down and going that far was really exciting. And in that sort of environment, watching one of my personal favourite players to watch, Lurch, turn it on against us, which was frustrating. But it was amazing to be part of. And yeah, just to do it so young as well was pretty special, and with a good mate, which I really enjoyed it, and it was a great game, obviously, and yeah, very special moment.
It'll be one of those endearing moments, mate, when you sit back
Absolutely.
in 20 years' time, look back, go, gee whiz, that was a bit of fun.
Absolutely.
How was the nerves? A lot of people probably be wondering. Some people get nerves, some people don't.
Look, I'm not a very nervous person. I was pretty chill the whole time. It's a decent opener from Perm. No, I'm not typically too nervous, to be honest. I went into the game pretty chilled out, and went with it. I was pretty nervous after I'd played my last 3, knowing that the results now are not in my hands. But
Yep.
But I had full faith in Jack. But yeah, no, I wasn't too nervous, to be completely honest.
Teys just slides through, gets himself about 2.5 feet past the jack. So you're a pretty confident player. And we saw in the semi-final, you weren't afraid to get up and load up against Teys, albeit he was putting under a fair amount of duress and forcing
Yeah.
those types of shots.
It's just what had worked for me this tournament, and I obviously didn't game away, and he was amazing. He played awesome, but I've been running a lot all tournament, which is not necessarily what I always do, but it was working for me, and I just went with it in the semi, and it's a good shot by Teys.
Teys, yeah, he's thereabouts again.
Yep. But so I just went with what had worked, and I just didn't run as good as I had in previous games. But he also presented a lot tougher heads as well. Not just bowl jacks. He's trailing jacks and making them 1.5 bowl targets max.
That's it,
And
yep.
yeah, he was awesome. Well played and deserved to win it by as much as he did. So it's just a bit stiff there, Perm.
Teys on the backhand draw.
Mm.
Any little touch of the jack to his own bowl will make this target a lot tougher.
He always flopped his with it.
He's managed to move it, but unfortunately, everything's sitting jack high.
Mm. It's one of those ones you don't, on this sort of surface, it plays so true. You never really feel safe if that sort of bowl jack. But there's a good chance here from Perm if he can just land that bowl or trail that jack. Teys won't have a lot on if he's able to play this one. Good view of the mighty vectors.
And so just taking his time with this one, I think he senses the moment here. All about speed, because we know the vectors will drop, but I think he's a little quick. The line that he played. Got to be fortunate to shank another one into the head, but
yeah, just a touch quick and a touch wide. I think maybe just a slight bit of both. He's opted forehand.
it's got good shape too.
Just needs to
Getting
ease
just to
up.
drop
He's
inside that back bowl.
just
Land.
slid by,
Oh,
I
it
think.
didn't land and flop. It landed and flipped. Probably overly technical bowls term, that one. So one to Teys. Interestingly, the last 4 players standing in the tournament, both from the same sponsors. Oh, sorry, 2 sponsors. So Club Big Park with yourself and Maddie.
Yep.
And Cosy Home Loans, the Warilla guys.
Yeah. Funny how it works out, eh?
Righto, we're away again.
Another good opener
Yeah,
there by
good opener
Teys.
by Teys, yep.
Bit of chalk.
Picture of concentration is firm.
Yeah, that's one thing. Whatever happens, whatever result, he'll drag this out. He'll never lose his concentration or focus on the target, and if he goes down, he'll go down, making it as tough as possible for Teys. That's for sure.
Great skill to have.
Yeah,
Particularly in this format of the game.
100%. And that's singles. That's half the battle of singles. And mentally, he'll always be up to it. It's just if he can put the bowls down to win the tournament.
Teys down to his first. Probably deserved to actually flop off that and fall back towards the jack, but he didn't. Does count though.
Yeah.
So Matty finds himself 2 down here.
Yep. See a change of hand. He can play with that confidence. Got 2 to land on.
Sounds like it's getting a little louder inside.
Too far away here, old Permy.
I think he's just going to find the
sliding
gap.
by.
Yeah, just slid through. As the ooze from the crowd tipped us off that it wasn't quite getting what he wanted. Yeah, it sounds like the punters inside.
Yeah.
They're trying to get their horses up over the line.
Just in there before them, getting a bit up and about last 20 minutes or so.
Easy. Clunk.
Teys.
all the games that I've seen Teysy play this weekend, he just keeps asking questions, doesn't he? He just
Absolutely.
he'll stand there and clap if you can get it, but
Just dropped a bit
if you
short there,
don't,
Perm.
if you present this type of opportunity now,
Yeah. Sort of found, just personally playing him in our game, his third bowl did a lot of damage. It's a bit of a roll in singles. Get that third one up there, and his third one always changed the head and asked a question of one of your last two bowls or your last bowl when the pressure's really on.
Yep.
That's what he's done exceptionally well.
have you played Teysy many times?
I've played him singles twice, a couple times in pairs, and that might be it, maybe 4 times, I reckon.
Okay. Well, he's gone for cover here,
Yeah.
and he's hoping that it stays
Just
on,
gone
but
in,
it didn't.
so-
Just ran in.
Interesting to see what Perman does every other. Yeah, it's framed up nicely for that jack or bowl.
Well, he's probably 3 down on the head.
It's a big, interesting decision. Yeah, either just tries to draw around that and get a good second, maybe even draw the shot, or he's just going to fire in the hole. I think if he gets off the inside, he's going to get a bit of jack, or maybe at least another one. So you'll see him right up through this.
And he is firing.
He's just
That was an
pulled that.
interesting. Not that I'm anywhere near an expert, mate, but if I'd have walked away from that head, I'd be playing the backhand drive. Hey? No, I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Anyway, it'll be
a funny thing.
the 3, and all of a sudden it's a 7-shot margin.
Yeah, it's a big break there from Teys.
I'm going to say exactly. Just asking that question.
Yeah, might have looked nice at backhand, but running's very much what
Personal
hands.
preference,
Like,
yeah.
I know I play a lot of twisties, known for his forehand, and there's a lot of the top end players, they have a particular hand that they back, and
Yep.
just
All
looked
right, well, as we get prepped for this end, just a shout out to everybody else that's been involved in the running of the tournament. We've spoken earlier about the volunteers for the markers and the ITOs offering up their time. The club, the people in the kitchen. I think they've been hammered. I think the food's been okay.
It's been great. The bacon egg sandwiches were amazing.
Oh yeah, no, they go off first thing in the morning here.
Yeah.
So to Chris and all her helpers out there in the kitchen, not volunteers, our bar staff, but this is a rather large crowd for our bar staff to be tending to.
Yeah, they've done an awesome job.
And they're still smiling.
Yeah.
As Perm tries to beat that bowl of Teesies, but just falls short.
Big chance here for Teys. Jump on this one. Up 7 now. And really try and put the pressure on Perm, see what he's got.
It's a good shape. Just going to climb past a little. To all Ed Burley and his Greens team, the Bernie Milnes, the Col Oakleys, the Gary Rundles, they've been here early every morning, making sure that these services are playable for everybody. And then we have all the helpers that have been in here doing all the cleanups, resetting everything every day. I mean, this place has been spick and span every morning when we've walked in, so...
That's been great. That, in particular, this indoor, very true surface, very very good surface to play on. Yeah.
I like the shape Teesy's coming down on here, and I think his
He's
speed's
near
better as
here.
well.
Just get in behind this.
Yeah,
That's a great shot.
ripping shot by Teesy. And the final shout out for volunteers goes to Cheryl and Caitlin, who've been our match room ladies. They've kept us up to date,
That's it.
accurate.
and accommodating for us as well.
Exactly.
I think she's whipped up a lasagna for us tonight. So
Oh, look
they've
out.
been amazing. They've been awesome.
Look out.
Permy's just gonna go under here.
What time's your flight back?
Let's fly back out tomorrow, 1:15 in the afternoon. So we get back in beautiful Western Sydney at 7:30 tomorrow night. So
Are you flying out to the west, the new airport?
no, this is the main one. But yeah, flying out to Sydney.
Okay.
7:30 we'll land. Yeah, 1:15 flight. So might check out the water around Mandurah in the morning and go from there. It's interesting. So Teys opted to go forehand here. So obviously pretty happy with how things stand. It's a tricky shot for Perm to get shot.
Probably down to that bowl at 7 o'clock there. Yeah, it's exactly where he's played to.
Yeah.
That's
Probably
great
count
positional
too.
bowl,
It's a
that
great
too
shot.
is. And counts, makes 3.
Yep. Yeah, you just gotta. I think all he's got on here is just a dead draw. Dead draw back in if he gets seconds good. The shot's amazing. He's opted to go for it.
There you go. Here's the backhand draw. You're going to get a
got
reputation
it
as turtle.
square.
He's got a smack on the
Oh.
nose.
Absolutely square. What a shot that is.
Acknowledged by Teys as a good shot. We're going
That's
to
a
go
great
back and
shot.
play from down that same end. So the biggest shout outs, I suppose, Marcus Sear, one of the guys behind the construction of and running of the tournament. Marcus has been in charge of making sure that we have enough numbers.
Mm-hmm.
We get enough people here. The other one, Timmy the Turtle Hyatt, or IT Timmy, as another one of his handles that he goes by. Currently on screen there, deep in conversation with Grizz Adams. And Wazza McDonald standing there looking not very impressed with the world. But the man behind the concept and the real prime mover, Russell Tyrrell, which he'd be inside having a beer, hiding. We'll see how many words he slurs by the time we get to presentation time. But he's done a cracking job.
An unreal job.
So well done to everybody involved.
Just a slightly longer roll by Teys, which is
Mm.
interesting. It's a big one here from Perm. I think Teys would have been feeling somewhat pretty safe if that last head. If you can, back-to-back bowls here, kill, then get right on, that would be good for momentum swing here. That's a pretty
Great
good
shot,
start.
Perm. Yep. As good as it is, given that Teesy's missed pass, it's already set up that little sit trail shot.
That's it.
So you can be down here with confidence.
It's one of those ones. It's the thing. It's probably the after the battle I found. You put one sort of that bowl jack and he's got 2 past, and you want to put another one in there, but you also are mindful of not letting them play that shot
I
because
was
you know
going to
how
say
good
what
they
you've
are.
already
You're
set
not
up
going to
for
miss it
them.
much.
Yeah, no. You don't want to give them 2 goes at it, that's for certain.
He's just going to turn in
Great
behind
shot.
here. It's a good shot.
Great
Yeah.
shot. Yeah. I don't know if Cheryl and Caitlin are actually watching at the moment. They generally have all the live streams going as they're going about their tasks. Caitlin, if you're watching, give us a wave.
He's killed it.
Teysy attacking, hitting the shot bowl onto the jack and out of bounds. So this will all get thrown back down that end again.
Yep. A good shot by Teys.
Oh, they're back again. Now they're hiding. There's a fair advert there for Gilbert and Sons, one of our local stores down here. Fresh Market. Great place for your fruit and veg, Gilbert and Sons. So I'll be coming over to hit you blokes up for a bit of sponsorship now.
Again, interesting. Just went that jack roll a bit longer, and now that jack roll's about that 3-4 meters shorter. So just maybe trying to change it up here a bit for Perm.
As Teys' bowls in transit.
I think he's too happy with that one.
As we have a look at the yawning David Cosgrove from Cosy Home Loans. Dave's stable was 13, 5 airfares and 3 Airbnbs is his contribution to the tournament this week. Big shout out to Cosy. Anybody looking to refinance their home loans or obtain a home loan, give Cosy a call. Been a great supporter of the tournament. Perm's probably a little disappointed himself with that one. He's left himself 3 feet short as well.
Yes, as I said, look, quality play like Teys, he's not gonna drop too many short like that. So you want to try and take the chance when you can, but you just got right back on it. Just a
They
bit
do
filthy.
things with a monotonous regularity, this fella.
A bit filthy. He's just falling against the bars.
Yeah, indeed. Can't control the things you can't control, though.
That's it. It's just dropping a bit shy again there.
Yeah.
For Perm.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
Vision of Russell Tyrrell out there laying down the law. Poor old Ed
There's the
Burley.
man.
Leave him alone. Russ, seriously, these greens have been terrific. It's easy giving himself a chance. The shot bowl there, I mean, landing that, turning it, getting to the jack. All would have been going through his head, I dare say.
Mm-hmm.
That's a better shape from Perm.
Good, a lot more speed on this one.
That's a better
Just coming
shape.
down here.
Just didn't get to the
just didn't
inside
get
half
to
of
it.
the bowl, did he?
There's the chance for Teys, land his own, land Perms, get down to that jack now. Just gets a big touch of here, gets it right in behind. It'll look really ugly here for Perm.
Calling for it to run.
Yeah, just urging it to get on.
It's trying.
I think it'll count.
It's trying.
It'll count.
2 down is the call. Stay in the forehand.
Yeah.
Shot bowl's the one sitting at 9 o'clock.
Maybe just trying to land that shot bowl. Maybe just a touch high, I think.
That's all. Speed was gold.
Speed's amazing, yeah. There'll be 2 more to Teys. 19-10. It's just
sneaking away a little bit from Mathew and none.
yeah. Just been putting that pressure on the first 2. Perm put 2 on the last end before Teys he killed it, but just the last 4 or 5 ends he's got on top with those first 2.
Yep. Gave Matty the opportunity to have a look. Make sure that it was 2. And a shout out to our main sponsors of the event, City of Mandurah, who every time it's been put up to run this event, they've come to the party. with their assistance and a couple of dollars. You've got Tyrrell Accountancy. I better get them higher up the list when I start talking about sponsors. Not only Russ Concept and driver behind this event, I know he has invested heavily himself in his endeavours to make this a success. Cut Tavern, Simo and Kel, likewise. As Teys slides past when the cameraman gets his you-know-what together. There we go.
Just back to that T to T as well. So he's just gone in his last 3 rolls. Long, sort of that medium short back to long. So just interesting to keep track of what length he's trying to play.
Taylor Bowles, Adam Haitley, long-time supporter of the event and also the Murray League.
Great fellow, Adam.
And Hooded Life. I think I've managed to get everybody this time. We've had multiple suggestions as potential sponsors. So we've got a list, so don't be surprised if we come knocking.
Great shot by Teasy.
Yeah, great
Right in
correction.
behind that jack.
Great weight. Just a bit high for that. From a broadcasting or a live stream perspective, Timmy Hyatt and the guys that I'm now have the pleasure of working with, Tommy Mitchell, Blake Butler, and their awesome setup, the pictures that they've done through to YouTube. Really appreciate your efforts.
On the measures the core.
Down the forehand, trying to get himself in the area here. He's
Too
not
far
far off
away, eh?
this.
Maybe just going
Oh,
under.
It is.
And
Just
again,
ran
just
out of
amazing
speed to hold that line, didn't it?
Yeah.
So Teasy, not wasting any time. He's already on the mat. The ball's halfway down the green.
A little skip, hop, and a jump for this one. Must like this. Running right after this, Teasy.
Giving it
Yeah,
the
just
old
looking at
get up.
Perm's butt. It's pretty
Yeah,
good for
good on
this,
you,
Perm.
Matty.
Yeah, it's going to count.
It's going to count. Yep. So it's definitely 2. Righto, so looking forward, what's next for Joey Clark?
So we got our New South Wales pennant, Platinum.
Yep.
So coming up next weekend and next 4 or 5 weeks. Then after that, it's probably we got some Inner Zone and probably then the Australian Open.
Then the Australian Open again.
So
Yep.
Doesn't stop.
Going around in the pairs again.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, Jack and I in the pairs again.
Yep.
Twisty, Sean Baker, and Jack in the 4s as well.
There's a bunch of scrubbers.
It's
Gee whiz.
Permy looking here.
He looks tight.
Just a bit under.
He's giving himself a chance to the target.
He's just taking that one out. So before he put that one there, they did say it was a measure. So this might be 2 to look here.
As Matty gives the mat a bit of a twirl. So it's definitely 2. Going to have a look for the 3rd.
First one into the 20s.
Going to the tape. I think Teasy might be quietly confident that he's got this one.
Looks that way. Looked confident.
And 3 it will
Three it
be.
is.
Yep.
So it's at
So-
14-10, I believe. It's just the last 8. 9 away from 50 grand.
Trust you to focus on the dollars. Playing for trophies here, man.
Absolutely, and the prestige, obviously, but I'm just trying to make it sound big.
50 grand is a fair
It
chunk of
is
cash.
pretty-
Don't worry about
Very
that,
big.
even in today's terms.
So yeah, so just as just said before, so he's clearly going the
Especially for us lowly bowlers.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, not the rock stars from the East Coast, as Russell will call them.
Another good start here from Teys.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just gone short again this way. So obviously the clear mindset going short, back towards the club, long away.
I think realistically he's probably just doing all he can to keep Matty off his game as much as he can. So chopping and changing.
Yeah.
And it makes it really, really difficult for Matty if you change it and walk up and go crunch.
Absolutely. Good
Matty
start
hasn't got
by
a
Perm.
bad answer.
That's
Just
a good
sliding
start.
about 18 inches past, yep. Oh
Got
dear.
Lord Such.
The face of Drake's pride picking his nose. Somebody's always watching, Sachi. Don't you dare put that in your mouth. Never let an opportunity go by, eh, Tommy?
He filled in for the consolation fours today, I
He
believe.
did,
They
yeah.
had their, I believe they had their first loss as a team when he walked in.
They got smashed.
Taking the mickey out of him for
Yeah,
a fair bit.
absolutely. And I sort of made the point during the presentation about that, but
This Perm's just coming in. He's doing a great shot here, Perm.
great shot. But I spoke to the skipper of the rank who informed me that Sachi was actually their best player. The other 3 played junk
Okay.
in the last game, but never
Oh.
let the truth get in the way of a good story.
Absolutely. Teys, he's just
Looking
this
for it
one
to hurry.
urging it
Yep.
on. Gee, it's a great effort.
It's just going to rock, though, unfortunately, yeah. Here's the Vic Park. Mob,
The Red Raz,
the Red Raz.
the mighty Red Raz is twisty. Another box of shapes.
Where is it? He must run a few miles to get those calories off.
Nah, good crew. Great people. So, Perm, you just be looking for that little sneaky touch around the corner here. It's just a touch high, I think.
I think you're right. Yep.
Speed is very good.
Anything past, I mean, cover that bowl there.
Yeah.
If the jack angle to go that way, if there's that bit of contact up.
Yeah. Tremendous speed. And as you said, good coverage. Just to see what speed twist. Teys.
Yep.
Go at this. You know.
It does look like it potentially feeds down between those 2 bowls at 5 o'clock there. And Teysy having the backest one. Or he's on the flat draw,
Just
which
trying to
is
draw
what
it
it looks
off.
like.
Far away. Teys. Oh,
Oh,
shot
and
that
it
is.
flopped back in.
It's a great shot for one down. I believe he's down still.
1 red. So Matty holds the shot.
Yeah, it's a great shot by Teys. You're up 12. You don't want to play those silly shots and maybe rip your own 2 out. Give him
No,
a soft
no.
2 or 3. Just if he's going to get back into it, make him work for it. He's got an inch to draw for a second.
But there's no real danger for him here. He can afford to be down to tease his second shot. I mean, if he sneaks that jack through there, he's the one on the receiving end. So
You'd think he'd be pretty safe unless he gets off Teys' front one, but he won't be flirting with that.
he's out on a safe line.
Yeah, pretty happy with the one there. Perm.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Not entirely worth flirting with.
No. Just be happy to
So 1 to Matty.
get one up and see what he does with this length.
22-11. The bowls are getting kicked back. Oh no, he's not getting all the way back to the tee. So over, just stats-wise, over the last 4 ends, Teys scored a single, a triple, a pair, and another triple. So got on a 9-shot tear, and currently enjoys an 11-shot margin. So
Yep, so he's just brought that mat up just past the line.
I can say he must have picked it up and moved it up again while I was
Yeah, he just had a bit
looking
of a,
away. Yeah.
he just had a little ponder. Yeah, that just speaks to like Teys' shot making ability. You know, if you're slightly off, he's gonna make you punish you with
Yeah.
multiples, and that's the type of player he is. If you miss, he's gonna put a few in there.
So this would be the shortest end we've seen so far in this match. Matty would love to nail this. Unfortunately, he's dropped about 18 inches short. Teys, though, looks pretty adjacent. As he finishes about 8 inches in front of the jack, so... Oh, my apologies, 10 inches the marker says.
Yeah, first in here is huge. 2 right on that centre line. Make it really tricky if you can just nail this jack.
Shaping back towards the shot bowl.
Just
Getting into the back of it.
Just flopped it further in.
So now it's 8 inches.
Yep. Yeah, big opportunity for Teys. Make it awfully hard.
Just got out a bit high. Yeah, got out a bit high with this one. Getting himself down and past though. Never wasted.
Absolutely. Since this is a big one here for Perm.
He'd like to double up consecutive ends.
The shot on.
Just clipped the front bowl of his and went
Just got
past
a
the
bit
jack.
far, I think.
No change. 1 yellow, which is 1 to Teys. Now he gets to play down to the now second shot with a degree of confidence as well. He just looks like he sailed that a little. Oh, weight was sensational, just a little high.
Yep.
So what's the go for Tommy Mitchell? Can we pick you up on these mics or what?
Oh,
You playing at all?
Not at the moment, mate. Not at the moment.
It was intended to be a little bit of payback, you cheeky bugger. And we have a little delay as Matt wanders back down to the head to have another look at things.
I reckon he's just thinking about, maybe he's thinking about the cannon, or maybe he's just trying to stretch
Well,
things
his
out.
bowl sits out a little when we look down the green like that.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'd be concerned about.
drawing down to his bowl, beating it, or
Yeah, that's definitely what I'd be doing, but I think maybe that's why he went down there, is just to suss out that cannon, but yeah, he's on the draw.
looks a little. It's tracking with some intent. Oh, just not going to quite get there. Yeah, that was super line for it.
Yeah,
It's easy now.
be disappointed with that one.
Teys just clarifying. If he was to get to the back of that bowl and laid forwards, would he be down?
Yeah, and I believe he would be. is one of those ones you're probably less chance of giving away if you're tighter rather than Get out
Indeed,
there.
yeah. But he's on a reasonable shape for the flat draw.
just get up there. Just
Just not
bit
quite,
shy.
yeah. So it looks like it'll be one orange and Teys gets the mat back. Matty would have loved the opportunity to have won a couple of ends and start to rebuild back into the game. Get a feel like he's in control of things.
He's jumped it, but it's not out of control yet. He's,
No. I wasn't suggesting that
Yeah,
the
no, I'm not-
scoreboard's
yeah.
too far against him, but
It's getting to that point there where a quality player on a quality surface like this, you don't want to let him get too far out. But I think he's just trying to claw back before he gets to that springboard. 27 is the magical number. You want to be within striking distance by the time he gets to that springboard. It's a great start by
Teys,
Teysy.
yeah. Nice shape on this.
Start here. Good start.
Just nestles down alongside the shot bowl of Aaron Teys. Just looking for this to drop all the way back to the line. It's a fair effort. So in your Platinum League, Joey, who are your non-St John's players that are coming in and participating with you boys?
Both from the Musgrave, the Pelicans.
Okay.
Sean Baker and then Ryan Bester. Spermie's another great effort and a great home. Yeah, so Bakes and Bester are obviously two quality players and two great blokes as well. So always love getting around them, and when they come down, it's awesome. They're good fellas.
And you guys had a triple header last weekend before you came over?
We did,
Yeah.
Did
How'd you fare in that?
Didn't go how we'd like. Yeah.
Not that I know what it was. It's a genuine question, this one.
Yeah, no, that's right. We lost our first to Cabra at Cabra 10 or 8 or so, which is, it wasn't too bad because they were such a quality outfit at their home deck, and had a draw versus Warilla, who were a very quality side, and didn't go too well on the Sunday versus Engadine, another really good side who got all three to start. But yeah, not our best start, but a long way to go. Another super effort.
Just a touch weighty for that, but giving himself every opportunity to get to the bowl. Yeah, so, I mean, for those that don't necessarily know what are the bigger clubs in New South Wales, when you say Cabra, Warilla and Engadine, they're big clubs.
Absolutely, yeah.
They've got quality players without necessarily requiring any fly-ins. So
absolutely, and that's Cabra don't have any fly-ins, and that's because they got so much quality as is. Obviously they're just winning it and going up against Cabra and Warilla first two games, the two finalists, is obviously a good challenge for us.
I was going to say that's a pretty tough draw to open up with. Yep.
Yeah, just gone to cover. Yeah, no, it was obviously a tricky start playing those two teams, but as I said, didn't go away, but long season, and it'll be hardened for it, that's for sure.
Yep.
A couple really quality sides, and either makes you or breaks you, so going forward, hopefully we'll be right.
sure you guys will be. Giving this a fair look from the other
Pretty
end.
close here, Perm. Chasing that jack.
Down through the jack.
He's got it well.
Pushed it out the side. I'd suggest he's lying at least 2. Two from Teys.
2.
Just confirmation from Matty. Yep, 2.
Good shot. Shot there from Permy.
23-13. Main job for Matty. Get it inside that double figure lead, get it into singles, and
Yeah,
then start chipping
that's
away
it.
at the singles.
As I said, just getting in within striking distance where he gets on that springboard.
All right, I'm going to leave you with it, Joey.
Okay.
We've got Dan Lemessier coming in, so I don't know, you're staying, I'm going.
Okay.
Yep. So Dan, visitor from California. It'll be interesting. Make sure you quiz him.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
will do.
find out what it's all about. Find out what the US bowls scene is all about.
Very interested, actually, to find out.
So I will bid everybody farewell, and thank you very much, boys.
So just welcome Dan into the commentary. How are you?
I'm doing all right, mate. Thanks very
That's
much.
good. So just seen Perm, interesting, run with his second one, and I reckon he'll go again here. He's pretty close to this.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Oh,
He's followed it in.
did it stay in or did it bounce out?
I believe it stayed in. Yep.
Well, this will be interesting.
Yeah, I was having a chat to Teys during our game, and to the ditch can be a bit tricky.
Yeah. How'd you find the pace on this?
Good, it's very friendly pace.
Yeah.
Teys
Oh, what a bowl!
stayed on. What a shot
What
that
a
is!
shot!
That's quality. Cheeky grin by Perm. No choice but to try and run this in. Looks like he might just trying to land it.
Well, he needs something close if it does go in. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Teesy's got a mile to draw. So
He's just trying to draw.
it's a little shy.
Oh, chance here for Teysy.
Oh, this is coming in pretty nice. Is he
Past
ma-
that one, is
there
that
we go.
enough?
Well, there is a bowl in the ditch, right?
Yeah, touch of the ring. That might be pretty close, to be fair. Two it is. Gets back to that 12-shot lead. So, from California.
Yeah.
So what's it like, bowls world like over there? Greens, what's...
So we have a lot of grass, not quite so good grass, I would say. A few places have carpets, which are quite nice. So like it's all outdoors though. We have no indoors in the US.
Yep.
My club in San Jose, we have a carpet, runs about 14.5, I suppose, which is quite nice. It's good to play on. But we have some really nice greens in Arizona where
Yep.
the US Open is played.
I was just about to ask you that. So I've looked into it before, the US Open in Arizona.
Do it.
Yeah, I'm definitely keen to at some point. But yeah, so you're obviously playing that.
I actually don't.
You
I
don't
don't
play
play
it?
in
No.
any domestic tournaments really. Not any of the big ones.
Yep.
My work has only limited holiday time, so
Yep.
I have to pick where I play. Those are great tournaments, but if I come and play here, I get a bit of holiday as well. You know.
Absolutely. So,
Just-
yeah, 'cause I saw you at the UBC, which is
Yeah.
did quite well in particularly event. I believe it was event 3.
Yeah, we last few events we've done all right. We made
Yeah.
the quarters. We just need to get over that hump. You know,
Yeah.
it's a tough one though.
It is tricky. It's such a fine line. So Teys just urging that one to get on out of the hand. Just a touch short.
It's so easy to drop just that little bit short on this carpet if you're not pushing it through.
Yeah, it's just that slightly holdy pace where typically carpet, you just feel like you can just get through your delivery and it's just going to be perfect. But if you're just not giving it that little shove, it is going to drop short. Found it a lot quicker in the morning session, and sort of later it's got just a touch slower. As Permi's coming here for shot. Still a bit of room here for Aaron, the way he's going. Yeah, I remember watching you at the UBC, the last game, maybe a game versus Adelaide, and you played a
Oh, yeah.
ridiculously good shot to get you through.
Every now and again, it pays off, right?
So I think Perm might still have this as a good look.
It's a fair bit of travelling you do to play your bowls, Dan. Do you make trips of it? Do you stay over a bit longer after each tournament, or do you just sort of fly in and out?
I tend to come a little bit early, get a little bit of a practice, then look around the place a little bit, relax beforehand, get over the jet lag, then stay late. You know, my family tends to not travel with me. Every now and again, my wife joins me, but it's good to get in and get out again, you know?
Is this your first time to Perth?
No, second actually. I came in 2019. I played in the Everest and it was in Dudley Park. And it was lovely. And I put my name back in to come again the following year, and we got hit by COVID, and that put a stop on that one. So when Russ told me it was back on again, I was like, oh, I have to come over. And play. This is a really, really good tournament, and everybody here is so friendly.
Yeah, it's great. Everyone's been so accommodating, and you know, as we talked about Kelsey and our sponsors as well, between all of them and every viewer here, so friendly. So Teysy chance here, close for shot. This will
Wants to pick it up. Ooh, it's drifting.
slid by. I think that's enough shot though.
Yep.
But a bit of room for Mathew here.
Oh, one and a measure. That's optical illusion.
Yeah, so just putting the fingers on it, and he's just sort of rested on it. He might have just shoved it out slightly, so...
But this is a lot of space. The way Matt's been playing, he's been
probably
awesome.
Probably one of the loose runs we've seen in this final. It's been an extraordinary game.
Yeah.
Just clear that front one.
It's a
That'll
little...
be...
Oi, there it is.
Yeah, the boss. He's probably going to get that anyway, to be fair. Onto the old perm. So he's just got that knack of hanging about, being frustratingly hanging around.
He's used to the pretty long game of singles.
Yep.
You don't see him, it's always a 3-4 hour game of singles, especially when he's going to 31. I've seen that happen here time with you.
Absolutely, yeah. So I've only just come to St John's over the last 2 years, but watching him play is just every game it's going to go for multiple hours, and you've got to be mentally prepared to go the whole way because he'll stretch things out, and he's a quality player at that too.
He hasn't missed many this week, has he? To be fair.
No, he's been very good. His first two, just like this, he's been all over it. It's a great starter by Perm, right on top of it. The old Vectors, his first ever set, he was telling me.
Really?
First ever set he ever had in bowls. He won a state singles with him when he was 15. And they come back out again.
That is a pretty good reply by Teys.
Great reply.
We've actually been talking about that first year of singles. He's won his singles. He's a novice that year as well. And the distinction that he made that year when he played the novice singles, when he lost his first round of the novice singles at the club, and won the state singles as well.
Yep. That's it.
That line out there is so precise. If you're a little bit outside it, it does hang just a little bit.
To a decent home there.
Teys is on good line though.
Yeah, searching for this.
This looks lovely. Look at this.
It's a great shot. Still down, but she looks a whole lot better. Perm need another one in there now. If you can just trying to draw tight to the Teesy's front one, just get snaked down. Even if you give it away with this one, need another one in there. So you change it over here to the forehand. Teysy searching for this bowl now.
Oh, it's on a good line.
We just a touch
Shove and run.
high.
Shove and run. Oh, what a ball.
Shot that is. Up a 2, I reckon.
What do you think?
Well, I think it's 2. You know, his only bad result is probably through his own really square, really fat. But I think he probably still flicks one of Teesy's off with that. But I think he might just search right through that front one, try and get the kill. I think. Either that, or he's playing that backhand swinger through his own, or looking through Teesy's front one and stun and run.
I think he was looking at that, but he's been very accurate with his drives.
Yeah, he played a great runner to win a game yesterday. He's going pretty firm, old Permy.
It's in the area.
Got
what a kill.
Shot. Alrighty, I'll bring in the great Barry Lester into the commentary. Let the professionals do it.
Hey Barry, welcome to the commentary booth.
Thanks very much. What a great shot there from Matty Pietersen.
It was.
Killed the end. And the mat's right up the front again. Short end. 27 sort of, or maybe sort of 25 metre length. So short length, and yeah, it's got to the stage of this game now where both players know where they're at. They know what lengths they want, know what hands they want to play, and Matty's now just got to have to pull into every part of his resilience and every part of his experience as well to try and stay in this game. And his body language and his voice and everything about him says that he's not giving up anytime soon.
No, he's definitely a fighter on this, and he's playing excellently, so definitely can make that comeback.
As he's always done the last few days on the broadcast here, Matty Pietersen, he's always asked questions, and good sign of confidence and consistency from Matty, just to, even though he knows that there's only been 2 bowls played so far, just to be able to ask questions, just keep communicating. And it's a good one if you're a bit nervous too. I'm a big fan of if you get a bit nervous and you're getting a bit maybe trapped up. It's a good one just to ask a few questions and keep communicating with the marker.
Very good tip.
Yeah, I think some players can get a little bit maybe a bit lonely on the rink. I guess you're fighting with yourself. You saw Rory McIlroy last week when he won the Masters.
Yeah.
He said the only thing I was trying to win or beat or get on top of was trying to win my own battle, and my own self was my biggest battle, and these players in bowls are the same. So I mean, but if you can talk, release some nervous energy, ask a few questions, banter with your opposition, I think the more you can release some words, release some energy, I think the better.
Absolutely.
Nice shot there from Matty.
Do you have any tournaments up and coming, Dan? Anything else in your future plans, bowls-wise?
Nothing for me at the moment. Get this out the way and then sort of evaluate what the calendar looks like. Teys on a good track here, though. Is he going to run it out? Oh, lovely. Barry, you got anything coming up?
I'm really enjoying playing for Belrose at the moment in the Platinum Pennants in New South Wales. It just, the dates and timing of everything at the moment fits in really well after playing in Queensland. And so enjoying that. So when I get home, I'll be playing for Belrose this weekend. So that's a great comp, great quality fields where you see Perm and Teys and these guys. But that's about it for now. And then Australian Open's a big one in June.
Yeah, that's coming up soon.
Yep.
Looks a little high.
Yeah,
Oh.
just missing high there.
Do you know who you're playing Aussie Open with, Baz?
So Australian Open, even this event, I seriously just go, all right, dates and times, flights, accommodation, get all the basics booked. And then when I get to the event, day by day, even throughout the day, game by game, I don't know who I'm playing. I'm really bad at it. When I say I'm bad at it, I just try to stick to the basics. I don't want to look too far ahead. And looking at draws, looking at venues, looking at rinks, looking at who you're playing. Great shot, Aaron Teys.
What a ball.
Yeah, he knew he had to give that a little bit of a chance, work off the wall there, and he's picked up a very important 27-14 now. I don't know. I just don't invest too much time and energy into the draw and into who I'm playing and where I'm playing. I just like to sort of just go day by day. But the other side of me says, well, you've got to plan your accommodation, plan your flights and all that. But no, I don't like to worry too much. But how about you, Dan? Do you like to look at a draw and go, study the player and study the venue?
Really? No, it's the venue, yeah. But the players, no. Like, is it a carpet? Is it fast? Is it slow?
Yeah,
the
good
bowls
point.
you want to take
Yep.
take with you. But opposition wise, nah, I don't really mind. Anybody can beat anybody on a good day. So
Yeah, that's correct. I remember I went to South Africa in 2017 and Johannesburg. I didn't know. I was playing a South African Masters over there, and I didn't know it was so far above sea level. So bit of altitude, right? And I got sick and I ended up in hospital. And I mean, yeah, just through what you're eating, what you're drinking, how you're preparing. But yeah, altitude. I actually didn't prepare for playing bowls at a high altitude, and yeah, I guess if you're on the top of your game, you're across all that. But these players here, great shot, Teysy. Beautiful weight control there from Teysy. Just add that little bit, work off the front. But yeah, I think the majority of players are always looking at the weather, looking at the conditions, and always pre-planning, knowing that they're ready to go come game day. But when I went to South Africa, I wasn't ready for the altitude. So there you go.
That is a very exceptional situation.
It was different. Oh.
Teesy's on a run here. I think he'll want to be passed. Oh, what a ball.
So big weight expected here from Matty Pietersen. He's thrown the cloth down. So he's 2 down. Look at that. Nice forward release. He wants some jack movement.
Through the target.
At least
Is he a little
reduce
tight?
the count here. It's tough weight. Needs a little bit of help here.
Oh,
Well, he's got
there
it.
he is. What a result. I was expecting him to go big at that. So
Yeah, so his primary I guess objective was to run the jack back. And I guess that's secondary result. And that's the key, I guess, with every shot you play. You've got to understand that sometimes if you play too big or too little, results can be in your favour or not. Whereas if Matty had played that less, he wouldn't have got the run on. And if he had played it too much, he would have ran through and kicked the jack out. So that's where these players at this level, they know what weight's required for these weighted shots.
And I know you're big into the coaching. One of the things that I've been trying to help some folks that I've been helping with is not just the shot you're trying to play, but what happens if you miss? What is the secondary option or third option that could go wrong if it's wide or narrow or too heavy? Thinking about those in clear. Matt had it.
Yeah, Teysy just missing high there. Beautiful weight. The hat's come off, and I can't blame him for taking the hat off. I guess that's just a sign of just trying to reset, refresh. He knows that he held a beautiful head. Matty got a little bit fortunate, but he was in the area. But but you're right, Dan. You've always got to understand when you get on the mat, look at your primary objective and then look at the contingencies. So what's plan A, B, C, D, F, G, and that's what comes with it. So we're lucky in this sport where if we don't get what we're going for with our primary objective, there's 2 and 3 other results that comes with it.
Well,
trying hard there. Well done, Matty. So,
well, Barry, this has been fun. Thank you for sharing the booth with
okay,
me.
mate.
I'm going to tag in the big boss.
Oh, the big boss.
Yeah.
Welcome, Russell Tyrrell.
Thanks, Baz. Thanks so much for helping out. We're at the exciting conclusion of this marathon of bowls we've had here at the Everest at Mandurah Bowling Club. It's so good to have this event back up and resurrected, and I can't thank the Mandurah people enough to how it's gone.
Well, mate, here we are at the end of the event, but let's go right back to the start, years ago. Where did the Everest come from? How did it start?
One of our local, not a member, but a West Australian, Barry Kalinowski, he's always got ideas, always. Most of them are left field, but he had the idea of this event to copy the Everest of horse races, where people bought slots for horses. Why don't we have one where people buy slots for bowlers? And he approached myself, and I said, yeah, I like the concept. That's all right. I'll go and sell to the some people at Dudley Park Bowling Club to see if reckon we could get it happening. And we thought, yep, we could do that. Why not give it a crack? So, and that was originally $64,000 with 64 entrants.
Mm-hmm.
And we thought, well, we'll give it a go. And we were very fortunate. Great shot here by Purby. That's a great shot. We were fortunate to have a man, a legend by the name of Damien McGee, who got behind the event. And here we go, Aaron coming down.
Yeah, looking for his own solid. What a shot, Aaron
wow.
Teys. Class. And just before you go, Russ, Aaron Teys, 5-6 time winner, BPL, carpet. I mean, those kind of shots, Russ, when you see that, the class in this guy, he especially carpet, I know he's done everything indoor, outdoor, but you see how simple that was for him just to run that?
Yeah, it just looked like just no effort, no nothing. Everything is just so smooth, and he's absolutely brilliant. Everyone's been brilliant.
Yeah, great final.
Hermie's come back good.
So fast forward to the day, you actually, what did you do? Start making some phone calls?
Well, what happened was in the fact that we got shut down by two issues. Unfortunately, Bowls Australia, not their fault or anything, they moved the side series in the Australian Championships to October, which was our date for our event. So therefore, we didn't have a date there. And then we got hit by COVID. We did run a very successful WA only Everest, which Billy Brandsma won. Very successful.
Yeah.
And until this year's event, it was probably our best. But then we've been down for 4 years, and then Marcus and Tim and myself going, well, we've put so much time and effort into getting this event and getting the brand and running it. It's be very sad to see it die. So about 3 months ago, I was going, why did I do this? Because we were struggling to fill with players.
And now here we are.
Yeah, and then I'm going, okay, all right. I'm actually now at the point where I can actually breathe because it's been a huge success. And we've...
Well done, mate. No, well done. And before you take those extra breaths, I'll just give our viewers a bit of an insight. So behind the scenes, you've got Russell running around. You've got his family, extended family, friends running around, preparing, just setting up every day. But you've got in the background, number 31, you've got food being served, lunches, dinners. You've got a fours tournament happening in conjunction with the singles for those that weren't successful in the singles and for those that play bowls in the area. And then when you see that wide camera angle, you see there's crowds. It has really ticked every box. And then what I continue to say is for anyone that wants to just play bowls and go, all right, we'll go on a family holiday, you can just go down the peninsula, all around the harbour. right across Mandurah for the 3 or 4 days of Easter is just plenty happening. Like I went through there today. There's face painting for kids, ice cream, stalls, markets, and then that's all happening 2.5 kilometres from the club down on the foreshore. So it's the place to be.
Everything's a $5 or a $7 to $10 Uber.
Yeah.
From your accommodation, everything. I like to Teysy. He has just been amazing.
Yeah, great shot.
He's it looks a long way away on screen, but I think it's closer than what it looks.
Yeah.
I like to promote the Everest the way I promote the Everest. Is it's not just a bowls tournament. It's an event. It's an experience.
Yeah.
There's bowls tournaments a dime a dozen all around the world, all around the country, but we try to make it special, especially for our visitors. I've taken many visitors around on canals, crabbing, touring, looking at our area, seeing our region. And the concept about Easter was that people could have a family holiday.
That's right.
They don't have to have much time off work. And I understand we did clash with Adelaide, which was...
And shout out to Adelaide. Well done for
which
everything.
is unfortunate and not ideal. But we are talking 200 players in 2 elite events. There's enough elite athletes in our sport to be in both events.
Yep.
And we are 100% behind Adelaide, even though I know that they're probably a bit miffed about what we've done, but the calendar is just horrible to actually get anything done.
No, spot on. And at the end of the day, these athletes / bowlers, wants to bowl clean here. They're all, look at Gary Kelly, who won the Adelaide Masters last year. He was upset he couldn't make it back to Adelaide this year, but he knows, especially with him being new to the country. I guess he's been here now 5-6 years. He's loving the new experiences and absolutely loving his time over here. But I think the sport, Russell, I think you said
Great
earlier.
Shot here from Permy.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Great shot.
It's about, once again, you didn't have to come up with the idea. You didn't have to try and put it into practice, but you did. And you're a person, you're a club, you're a group of people that said, we can do this. Now, that's promoting the game, and that's all we want anyone to do. If you've got an idea, you've got a concept, get out there and give it a crack.
And we are all on the same side. It's not us versus them or anything. It's just, here we go. Aaron. Oh.
2 down to 2 down.
Yeah.
A little bit more room for Matty,
and you also have to understand, we are a long way away here.
Mm-hmm.
We are in Way the Wild, WA. It's a long way. We don't get this quality of events or anything at all.
But I'll trade you. We don't get the sunsets on the east like you do here. My goodness, the last few days, those sunsets have been unbelievable over the Indian Ocean. But that's what I'm saying. Like, get over here and experience it.
Yeah. I think we take it for granted because it's just what it is every day.
Yeah, I was chatting to some people the other day. I said, how good are those sunsets? And they sort of looked at me like, they're sunsets. I'm not sure if Matty's reached there.
Opportunity there for a free hit.
We get beautiful sunrises on the Gold Coast and the eastern suburbs, but and they're like, there's sunsets, Barry. I'm like, but how good's that beautiful sunny glow? And they're like, we get them all the time, So, but even today, like I said, walking down the strip shops, walking around, there's lots to do. So well done to you, well done to everyone that's ever put the event together and come up with the concept, because you've proven that from an idea or from a concept, it can happen.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there's parts of Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland, everywhere around Australia, someone's sitting there going, wouldn't mind trying this. Look at the Darwin Carnival. It's brilliant. Now, I've never played it myself, and I want to put it on the bucket list, but Darwin, they have a great carnival for a week there through, I think, May or June. And why not get out, travel, holiday, play bowls, and there's some great events to play in.
Threw me a bit long there. Aaron coming down. Part of the unique feel of this event, though, is obviously you got to pay $1,000, but there's so many different ways to get into the event. You can have a sponsor back you and put you in. You can win a raffle. You can have your club. Our ultimate idea is it's a bit like a club champion of champions type situation, in the fact that if you win your club singles, your prize is entry to the Everest. Or you can run a qualifier at your club and get in that way. Or if you just want to have a crack, you can pay the entries yourself.
I love the club singles one. Like, you know, if you're already putting up, you know, a bit of prize money and a trophy for a club singles winner.
Great shot, Teysy, or
Teysy, one to Teysy. Yep. Nice. So 4 bowls right down the spine of the rink there. So that's showing, you know, the line's not an issue for these players. It's just going to be a weight battle. But, you know, if you're at a decent sized club and they're putting up a nice prize for the club singles trophy, they go, well, here's the trophy and the prize money, or we've got a flight.
We can package this,
and we've got a package to go to the Everest. You know, like
Hermie here.
Oh,
may have done enough, and the angles on the TV. It
looks like Teysy,
and it is Teysy.
So Teysy, if he draws this, he's holding game. And Matty's in that really weird sort of number. Like, he knows that at 17 he's not out of it. He just needs to get a few ends together.
I think it's a bit narrow here.
Well, that's a loose bowl from Teysy.
Looks like one of mine.
Really? That's on the rink though.
Oh, how rude! I've got feelings. That's all right. For those who don't know, Baz is staying with me, so look out.
Hey, I'm in the good books. I did a good favour a couple of days back, mate.
Yeah. He saved our dogs from the canals the other day. It was a very, very scary situation.
I tell you what, though, I'm going to miss them, Molly and Murphy, your 2 Labradors. They're beautiful dogs, mate. Even last night, giving them chest rubs and hanging out with them, and then this morning, as I'm having brekkie, they wouldn't leave my side. But
bowl.
Yeah,
I'm not sure he likes it.
Well, he needs to sit that bowl for 3.
He's coming in
get
nicely.
Back. Oh, he's drawn the shot.
What a shot!
So that'll do for 1. Keeps him alive. So it's easy, just a 4-hand draw here.
Nothing against Aaron, but I hope he misses because then we get to see more.
Yeah, so he's done what you can't do on that 4-hand.
Oh,
you just can't. Yeah, you can't underplay that hand. It will go away. Nice speed though. So
look at that. Yeah.
Permy, 29-18. He's still in that sort of scary zone where Teysy knows he has to keep on his game, and you know, what I mean, if it gets under 10, that's where you're like, well, yeah, definitely have to keep working for it. But
and Teysy's foo-foo valve will start clacking.
Mathew Pietersen, he's got his Australian number. He's, you know, done the hard yards, played for Australia, went away, got his career sorted, got married, had a family, but now at 35 years of age, he may be in a position where he starts, you know, entering the idea of playing for Australia again.
We are so delighted to have Matty back. He was the inaugural Everest and was an absolute delight to have. And the really good thing is that his aunt and uncle are at the Dudley Park members, and they've helped me out immensely over the last 3 days. They've marked every day, every game. They've had a ball, and they're lovely people. And his dad's come over again to visit. So we are so pleased to have Matty, back in our event. And
Nice starter from Aaron Teys. Put away.
this will whoever wins puts a name on a perpetual trophy, following in the footsteps of Aaron Wilson. I'm a bit biased. Great shot here.
Now, I'm going to say it, Russ, and I reckon you'll agree. I reckon it's just slowed down a touch, this carpet, as we've got a little bit later in the
It
evening.
does. As the
Bowls seem to be
temperature
pulling up a bit
changed.
quicker.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hasn't stopped the quality though.
No way. Everyone's just sort of punching into the head a bit here, just sort of pushing into the lines. That's a nice spot for Aaron Teys to finish.
So one of these guys' names will go on the trophy, which includes the inaugural winner, Aaron Wilson. I'm a bit biased, but I like to think that we had a bit of a hand in Aaron getting selected as a Commonwealth Games singles
Yes.
representative.
Created the platform.
He came and won our event.
Yes.
It gave him street cred.
Yep.
And then went on to get selected for our singles.
All right.
It can't have hurt.
No way.
Because you've got to understand that when we started this event, there wasn't UBCs. What's happened here?
Well, speaking of which, okay, let's look at it, right? So, Com Games is just over a year away. Glasgow, July.
Yep.
So, you got Teysy, you got Corey, you got all these types of players that are, pushing for accolades, pushing for selection, pushing to do the right thing. Now, Teysy and Corey and a few others have come over here as jackaroos, looking for a big win.
Yep.
Now, Aaron Teys, let's say if he wins this, he's just won arguably the biggest singles tournament in Australia.
The world, sorry.
Definitely with prize money.
Yep.
Quality field, being indoor. Now, Glasgow next year is indoor. Aaron Teys, if he walks away with a win today,
he can't.
He's put his hand right up to say, and off the back of his BPL performances, he wins. Him and Corey and Chloe, they get it done on the indoors. So his form there on the indoors. Well, that's a no-brainer. So I reckon
it can't hurt.
Aaron Teys will be really, really hungry for this win to really push that envelope.
Fermi coming down here. I think he's going to go under. I think
Alrighty,
the
so
last few bowls on that hand, both players have been under at times.
there it is, Aaron Teys, forehand now, sit the bowl to win the game.
The win and the 50 grand.
$50,000 first prize.
I do have to warn you, as soon as this is finished, I'm bolting.
Okay, mate.
And
You
you'll
can
have
bolt.
You'll have to listen.
You can
to
actually
me.
bolt, can you?
You'll
or-
have to listen to me and watch me out in the middle of the green. Hey? No, the presentations will be inside and we'll be live streaming them
Aaron
within about
Teys,
20,
can
30
he sit
minutes.
this bowl here to win the game?
Oh, no,
He's
he's under
under.
as well. Oh, we get another end. How good's that?
29, 19.
Pemi keeps chipping away.
Yeah, well, we did have a little, what was it inside? A little
We've had a sweep.
sweep, little sweep.
We've actually got two sweeps.
I had perm at 23, so
I think I had perm. We've got a sweep inside. You had to pick the result. We've got two sweeps. The first sweep is the result of this game. The second sweep is when I cry during my speech. Because I cry at the opening of an envelope.
you'll cry when I leave tomorrow, won't you?
I think you're leaving at about 10, 11 o'clock. I don't think I'll be moving by then.
And when I'm packing those bags and leaving for the train station, mate.
Just leave my dog behind.
I want them to come with me.
Permy's
Murphy
coming
and
down
Molly?
here.
Nah, they're going to miss me, mate.
Yeah.
So, perm, 4 foot short, on the line, though. That's the key. Just keep punching those
That's right.
lines down. We've noticed throughout the day, you really need to hit the line. But this surface now, even though the temperature hasn't dropped, maybe if anything's got a little bit
Aaron
warmer.
hasn't a problem this time.
Yeah, I reckon this surface has just dropped a little bit of speed, which is pretty common when it gets a bit warmer at night. Those lights, really kicking in.
And the thing is, if you're not really switched on and you try to draw the ultimate shot, you will end up a metre short.
Mm-hmm. So Mathew Pietersen switching to the back end here, looking for 4
I think
feet,
he's a bit very weighty.
but he's looking to be in an area where he
Very
can sit
weighty.
or trail. Well, he's overdone that.
That's a loose one.
Well, Aaron Teys, you'd like to think after this
He
will be
nails
holding
his.
game.
It's easy, you sense he's just sensing an opportunity.
So that's now holding game. Aaron Teys, $50,000 in the hand. And he knows it. He's grabbing his hat. But Mathew Pietersen, a very experienced player, looks very controlled here.
Yeah,
Back through his
played
routine.
A lot of clutch bowls over the last few days, though.
Oh, he looks quick
Ooh,
again
I
here.
think he's quick.
Well, he must be playing some kind of a riding
trying
shot
to-
here. He's definitely
I'll
quick.
tell you what.
He's got the jack. Wow, Mathew Pietersen.
Wowee.
He's letting Aaron Teys know here. He's up for the challenge.
As BT would say, wowee. Plenty of room for Aaron here, though.
Needs to slow down.
Well, I think that's going to go for the
Needs
drink.
to slow
Listen,
down.
Unless the kid
Aaron
gets in the way.
Teys.
Oh,
Well, it's enough for
what
shot
a
or not
shot.
second shot.
No, it is shot.
We'll find out. So, yep, 1 yellow. Well, he didn't spare much room there, Teasy.
Big bowl here for Matty.
Teasy using the Aero Evolve there with the swirl colours. And Perm, as we spoke about earlier, he's using a set of bowls that's 20-year-old
Oh, really?
that he used when he won the state singles in 2006.
I'm glad he went and got a haircut the other day. I think he knew he was going to be on the big stage.
Definitely planned early. So, Mathew Pietersen from the St John's Park Bowling Club on the backhand. He's got
This
about
is-
2.5 feet of room to score here. Body language looks good. He's stalking this. He's pretty good here. Mathew Pietersen. Oh, I think he ran
no,
through
he's
too
through.
far.
And the screen looks like there's a ton of room there.
Well, this
But
could be
looking
it, ladies and gentlemen.
But looking from here at the green, there isn't as much room
There's a hush.
as what it looks.
There is a hush. Everyone knows. Is this the $50,000 bowl? Aaron Teys from the Warilla Bowling Club.
All right, thanks, Baz. I'm off. Thanks, everyone.
Good on you, Russ. So Aaron Teys, with his last delivery, he looks to the skies, gives his hands a little bit of a prey position there. He wins the Everest singles for 2025. Aaron Teys against a fantastic performer and a really consistent performer this week in Mathew Pietersen from St John's Park. But it's Aaron Teys from the Warilla Gorillas who's won the Everest singles this year. Aaron Teys in his quest to try and make his first Commonwealth Games team next year in Glasgow. He's come out and played a fantastic game and been a consistent performer all week. So well done to all the organisers, Tommy Mitchell and everyone that's put this live streaming together. But Russell Tyrrell, Yeah, well said, Russell Tyrrell, the main man. He's put this event together. Yeah, well said. And we're going to finish up very soon. But Aaron Teys, congratulations. As you can see there, plenty of people hanging around tonight. Big crowds. Mandurah Bowling Club's done a fantastic job the last 3 or 4 days over Easter to host this event and put on such high-quality bowls. But between the organisers, Russell, his extended family, all the supporters, volunteers and members of the club, well done. It's been a pleasure to bring you this fantastic event, the Everest Singles here at Mandurah Bowling Club in Western Australia. Aaron Teys is now $50,000 richer, and he's got a huge title on his resume to add to the other things he's won across his career. And Aaron Teys, congratulations. But Mathew Pietersen from St John's Park Bowling Club, well done to you. Informed player all week, but Aaron Teys, too good, and well done. My name's Barry Lester. Thanks for joining us, and make sure you give us a like and a share. Sharing's all what it's all about. The moment you press the share button, you're promoting the sport of bowls. Talk soon.